Warning, the following high school football game is not for the faint of heart.
He's trying to look downfield, being chased down by Devin Porter. He throws it out of bounds. Howe has the game. Here's Zagleski.
Please take all necessary precautions.
To the 3, to the 2. He's in. It is touchdown time in Texas.
Howe Bulldogs football is on HoweEnterprise.com and is brought to you by Ed Meacham State Farm, Sonic of Howe, Scoggins Funeral Home, Attorney Micah Belden.
Intercepted. Brought down by J.C. Helfenstell.
Bucks Norton Barbecue, Tech Wave, Robertson Welding Services, Knight Furniture, FBC Howe, Howe Athletic Booster Club, Independent Bank, Exalt Realty.
Throw the football, the ball's on the turf. Howe says they have it, and they do. Austin Lee comes up with a football.
Now get ready because it's football time in Texas on HoweEnterprise.com.
Mason Riggs, look out. He's got the 30, 35. He's got some speed. 50, 45. It's a foot race to the 30, 25, 20. Kiss him goodbye. 89 yards.
Here's the voice of Howe Bulldogs football,
Texas
Monty Walker.
Tech University and become a nurse anesthetist.
David was the son of Samuel, one of the greatest kings of Israel. David was the least likely of 8 brothers to step up to the throne. He was the youngest, the smallest, and the weakest. Just as David, nearly everyone in Texas feels as if the Howe Bulldogs are the least likely candidate to pull off an upset victory over their arch nemesis, the Van Alstyne Panthers. Having lost 11 straight to their rivals, there are few that will side with Howe. Only, perhaps, because like David, they are chosen because of the size of their heart, not their weaponry. The game is about intangibles. It's about heart. And in rival settings, anything, and I mean anything, can happen. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Panther Stadium in Van Alstyne, Texas. Monty Walker along with Justin White, Caroline Slauson roaming the sidelines, our Knight Furniture sideline reporter, and a new spotter tonight, Blake Burnett, with us up here in the booth as Stephen Braswell is out of the country. Not sure where he's at. I think Austin, Texas is basically out of the country, if you ask me, but he's down there in Longhorn land, I believe, from what I hear. So we have a new spotter tonight. We'll see how Blake Burnett does. He's got big old binoculars, and I think he'll work out just fine. What we do have on our hands tonight is the classic old-school rivalry. This goes back to 1941. Justin White, the Howe Bulldogs, and the Van Alstyne Panthers.
First of all, I feel like I should turn my Bible into 1 Samuel and kind of and as you read the scripture here tonight on David and Goliath. But yeah, a rivalry game. This one, even though there's no playoff implications for the Bulldogs, this is going to be a kind of a fun game because there's no pressure. You got nothing to lose, you know. And what would be great is if Howe could come here and just wreak havoc on the Van Alstyne being the district leader right now.
What you have is the district leading Van Alstyne Panthers 4-0 in district play, have scored 172, given up 53 points during those 4 games. Howe, on the other hand, who has not had a bye week at all, will get one next week. Thanks a lot. Are 0-5, have only scored 59 points in district play and 177 allowing. So basically flip-flopped. Everything's just about flip-flop between these teams. But you got to play the game. And, you know, I know there's not anyone out there listening that thinks Howe has a chance to win this football game. But you have to still play the game. And I think those players down there, we might call them the skinny 20 because that's about all that's left. They might think they got a chance, and who should say they don't, because they're the ones with the big hearts. And I think you know, if anyone is going to see the game through, it's going to be the Howe Bulldogs.
Yeah, and especially for these seniors, this is going to be your last time. You know, you had the last home game last week. Last time you're going to don a Bulldog uniform, so leave it all out on the field, and what would be greater to close out a Bulldog career than a victory over your rivals?
The Van Alstyne Panthers lead the series overall. It dates back, like I said, back to 1941 was the very first game, but they hold quite a margin, especially since 2000. When the Georgetown edition came through, that changed the dynamics of the two towns. The Van Alstyne Panthers have 469 students in their high school. Howe only has 340
one. That's a difference of about 30 more junior, senior boys, which is basically another, another football team to pick from.
Yeah, that's a big factor right there.
So we're going to take a quick timeout. We'll talk about all of this Silver Spike stuff coming up here in just a moment, but we have the Coaches Show and the Senior Spotlight coming up. We'll be right back right after this.
Monty, that was Damius Karowski on the tackle. Hey, this is Michael Mosier. I may not be up in that luxury outdoor suite on top of the press box, but hey, I'm still supporting the Bulldogs. I'm proud to be a part of the Howe Athletic Booster Club, where it's only $25 to become a member. I may have retired from pronouncing those difficult names on Friday nights, but I can say go Dogs without batting an eye. Become a black and white, towel-waving Bulldog fan by signing up at each home game behind the home bleachers, and remember, Aljundo Dakenstater on the stop.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Welcome to the Howe Bulldogs Coaches Show with Bill Jailing. The Coaches Show is brought to you by FBC Howe. Now let's join Monty Walker with Bulldogs head coach Bill Jailing.
All right, Coach, Commerce a week ago, they didn't come in with a win, but you can obviously tell these towns and teams that are so much bigger than Howe, they have the athletes, and it's just tough when you play against teams like that. And the read option seems to be the new wishbone or whatever, and they run that well, and they had a great quarterback.
Yeah, Commerce did a good job Friday night. Their quarterback was very athletic. Probably one of the best quarterbacks that ran that read option that we faced all year long. It hurts us. I mean, they're a lot bigger than us. I mean, when I watched the film last week, I said that I thought Commerce was probably one of the best 0-7 teams out there. And then when they showed up on Friday night, they were just so much bigger and more athletic than us. And I swear that quarterback must have had spikes about that big, because he was able to stick his foot in the ground and go on that wet, muddy field. But yeah, it's been hurting us all year long. I mean, we're going both ways. They're two platooning, and it just wears our kids down in the third and fourth quarters. But I mean, I'm proud of our kids. They play hard, but it's definitely playing a toll on us this year, playing these schools that are so much bigger than us, that have twice as many kids and more athletes than we do.
Bulldog Stadium here, it got pretty ripped up Friday night. Of course, you've had that all year long. Played in mud almost every week, it seems. Is there a possibility at some day having turf on this field? Everybody's asking that question.
I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I'm the person to ask on that. I'm always been in favor of grass fields, but this year has just been so crazy. We have not played on a dry field since the Rains game. And, in the beginning of the year, if you would have asked me if playing on a wet field, I would say that would play to our advantage. But I would definitely say the last 3 weeks that it has hurt us just as much as it's hurt the other teams. And Coach Miller this week from Van Alstyne, when I talked to him, he said, Coach, watching the film on your team against Lone Oak and Commerce, he said, if you guys play on a dry field, those games might turn out differently, just because we're a running team and our running backs aren't able to stick their foot in the ground and make cuts. I mean, Caden Harmon last week probably could have broke open 2 or 3 runs, but he's slipping in the mud. And even defensively, we're putting guys on the ball to make tackles, and they're slipping and sliding and everything else. So, hopefully, I would love to see turf, just because it plays a huge advantage, just not for football, it's for all sports, for baseball and softball, because they, on rainy springs, they're able to still get out and do some practices and stuff like that. But, that's just something that, you always hope for and wish for, but, you deal with what you got. But I'm okay with grass, just as long as we don't have another rainy year like we've had this year.
Right. Well, Van Alstyne, they haven't played on anything but turf all season long. It plays to their advantage come Friday night. Indoor practices, you have done that, seems like, or I think you have, every week for about 7 weeks, and injuries coupled upon that, that's a bad recipe.
Yeah, this has just been a crazy year that I've ever had as a head coach. We have not had a full 4 days of practice outside since week 3. We've been cut short every week with rain and circumstances, and been indoors at least 1 or 2 days a week. And it's great to practice indoors, but you can't get the full-fledged that you want in a practice, as far as, especially when you're playing spread teams each week. It's hard to simulate the spread inside a gym. But, I mean, we've just had to deal with it. It's been a crazy year. Injuries, losing kids for certain circumstances. I think like yesterday, I told our coaches, I said, we have not had our full starting team since week 3. We've had people out each week. And I counted it up yesterday. We've lost 6 starters since week 3, either due to injuries or other things. And, you know, in a school like Howe, as small as we are, when you lose 6, that's huge. Because it's not like you're losing just one position. Most of our kids go both ways, so you're losing 2 positions. So it's just been a crazy year. It's been it's a first for me. I've never dealt with anything like this, where each week you're piecing a piece to the puzzle with somebody that hasn't played a position all year long. Usually 2 days you get your starting 11 and you roll with them and you fine-tune them each week, but it seems like each week this year we had to just move pieces of the puzzle around and do the best we can. But I do tip my hat to our kids, because they've overcome it, they've adjusted to it, and their effort is there every Friday night.
Let's take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll talk about the 56th Silver Spike.
The First Baptist Church here in Howe, Texas would like to invite you and your family to a celebration of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Each Sunday morning at 10:30, we meet for worship at 100 East Davis Street in Howe. Prior to that, we have relevant Bible fellowships for all ages beginning at 9:15. Join us each week to declare the hope that is found only in Christ. Be ready to experience the life-changing power of the gospel. There is only one message for every generation, and that message is Jesus.
Coach Van Alstyne, 56 Silver Spike coming up, rivalry game, but let's talk a little bit about them. Their quarterback, Gallagher, seems to make them go on offense.
Yeah, Van Alstyne's a very good football team. I know they started the season with a couple losses, but they played some very good football teams at the beginning of the year, and I think they've won 6 in a row. So they're a good football team. Their quarterback is outstanding. Their running back is very good as well. They're very athletic and very big up front. They're 2 platooning. I mean, they got 11 offense, 11 defense. But you know, in a rivalry game, our kids are going to be fired up. So it's going to be a good game, I believe. But I got to tip my hat to VA. They got some good athletes over there.
Well, let's talk about the rivalry game, and you've had some success in your career in rivalry games. Talk about that and what's your, I guess, what's the secret?
I guess there's really not a secret. I mean, we treat it just like it's a regular game, but we intensify practices a little bit just because it's a rivalry game. The kids are always more motivated for a rivalry game, but I wouldn't say there's a recipe for it. I just think that the way we approach it as a coaching staff, we address it as a regular game, but we always add little wrinkles into practice just because it's going to be a louder environment. It's going to be a more exciting environment. So we do little things at practice to get our kids ready for that. But this being our seniors' last game, I think they're going to be fired up for it. I mean, they have a little distaste for VA, so they're always excited for that.
Do you treat this game somewhat like a playoff game?
It is a playoff game for us, and that's what I told the kids this week. I said, this is our last game of the season, and it is a playoff game for us. Even though we might not go on and play a playoff game, we can be a spoiler this week. We can, if we go in there and we upset VA, it throws a huge wrinkle in how the district's going to play out. It throws a huge wrinkle to VA on who they're going to play in the first round of playoffs and everything else. So it is a playoff game for us. It's a way for us to finish the season with a W. I always tell our coaching staff and our kids, the only time I ever want to finish the season with a loss is in the state championship game.
Right. So your seniors had their final game here at Bulldog Stadium last Friday night. Somewhat emotional for some kids. This is it. This is the final game for your seniors. What do you tell those kids?
Well, I always address our seniors, and I always just say, how do you want to leave your mark? This is your last game as a Howe Bulldog. How do you want to leave your mark? How do you want to be remembered? And sometimes it's not always what the scoreboard reads. It's how do you want to play that last game? And I always tell the seniors, you know, this is the last time you're going to play football. And for most of our kids, it's the last football game they'll ever play. So it's how do you want to leave your mark? How do you want to be remembered is what I tell our seniors. And it's, like I said, it's not always what a scoreboard reads. It's the effort we're going to give on Friday night.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8.
Sonic of Howe is where you get great food and big smiles and a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players.
Go Bulldogs fight, Bulldogs win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Hey Bulldogs, great news. I'm your hometown realtor and I'm also a Bulldog. Hello, I'm Kevin Sarles and I'm with Exalt Realty. I wanted to tell you about the new 321 program for our new home buyers or those who haven't owned a home in 3 years. A $1,500 grant is tied to the program and a $2,000 gift card at a local major retailer is available. This promotion is for a limited time and qualifications do apply. Call me anytime, 903-821-4163.
Welcome to the Howe Bulldogs Senior Spotlight, brought to you by Ed Meacham State Farm. Now let's join Monty Walker with this week's senior.
This week we're featuring Samuel Cherry, senior, and let's talk a little bit about everything you're involved with. Kind of like Joseph Brennan we had a few weeks ago, you're involved in a lot of things. Let's talk a little bit about the band. How hard is it to be in the band and on the football field at the same time?
Well, I've experienced this before with last year, and it gets a little challenging at times, and especially with having an injury like a dislocated elbow. It gets hard to take the pads off and switch to band and then come back to football without a break. But it's manageable.
So in two-a-days, when you're going through band and you're going through football, so what is it like during that situation, and how long a day is it for you? Because are you doing band at night after football? How's that work?
Well, most of the time we have football right after school, and then we usually have band right after football, so you usually don't get a break. But on Monday nights they do feed you, so that helps a little bit. But other than that, it's just a really long day.
So you're also involved in well, I can't even keep up. Eagle Scouts. Let's talk about that. What was your Eagle project?
I built a large metal carport for the Howe Methodist Church for the bus and their vehicles there.
So now you're getting a little intimidation factor over here. As Dyson Diller's just looking right over your shoulder, trying to mess you up over here, but we're going to keep going with this. So talk a little bit about some other things that you're involved with.
I'm involved in FCS, and I try to attend as much as I can, and I'm doing as much of the college classes as I can and advanced classes.
So let's take a quick time out. You're going to have to get out of here, man. Go. Get out of here. Get out of here. We were doing fine until you got here.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at MrEdInsurance.com.
Welcome back as we're visiting with Samuel Cherry, the senior. Now let's talk a little bit about your injury. How did it happen?
Well, I was blocking down with my friend Parker. He was the center and I was the guard. And we were blocking down, and then he went a little bit after the play, and he threw me down, and I landed on my elbow, or on my arm, and it rolled out of place, and they just had to pop it right back in there. And then I had to get X-ray and MRI to check it out.
So how hard has it been to kind of having to be watching from the sidelines for most of your senior year?
That's a little difficult to watch all your friends play, and then you just have to sit there on the sidelines and just watch. It gets a little tough emotionally sometimes, but there's a little hope coming back that you'll be able to come back and play with your friends again.
So your mom's involved in everything. Do you ever even see her? She volunteers for so much stuff. When do you see her?
I actually see her all the time because I have to help her and manage all of these things. So I get to see her all the time. It's great.
So let's talk about the Silver Spike. Anybody playing it up in the locker room this week? It's been a long time since Howe's beat Van Alstyne. This is the rival game, 56th Silver Spike. What's the chatter in the locker room?
Well, despite our previous games, most of us think that we can prevail through this game, and despite the adversity that we have faced in the past, we think that we can manage this game.
All right, and that's your Senior Spotlight with Samuel Cherry. We'll be back right after this.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches, and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of Howe Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Welcome back. We are at Van Alstyne Panther Stadium here in Van Alstyne, Texas. Monty Walker along with Justin White and Blake Burnett, our spotter. And down on the sidelines for the first time tonight, our Night Furniture sideline reporter, Sweet Caroline. How's it going on down there?
Hey guys, it's going good. Temperature, weather look tonight, it's about 62 degrees and it's going to stay that way all night long. Even better news though, it's not muddy. Not muddy at all. It's perfect.
You're not going to have those pretty little shoes all brown tonight.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Hey, if you don't mind, if you run into an official, be sure and let them know that we need full 60s on our timeouts tonight.
Doing that right now, as a matter of fact.
Thank you. The Bulldogs have come out on the field. They're in all white tonight. White pants, white jerseys, black helmets. It's a long way down there, Justin White. We're way up in the sky. They do not have an elevator here in Van Alstyne, Texas. They needed one because both of us were about to pass out by the time we got up here.
Yeah, we needed the oxygen tanks up here by the time I was able to get up to the top of the press box. You were huffing and puffing, and so we need to get our cardio in probably tomorrow morning.
The Van Alstyne Panthers are in their tunnel here on the south end zone. Both tunnels in the south end zone. And the Bulldogs straddle the sidelines. Van Alstyne in their all blue. It's not a dark blue. It's a traditional royal blue with a white helmet, the paw on it. They've had that logo for quite some time. Let's go over the starting lineup for the Howe Bulldogs. A different look tonight. As you'll see, Jackson Atkins, Parker Blunt, the center, on somewhat of an unbalanced look tonight. Chris Garrison, the right guard, Jaron Ing, the right tackle, and Alex Kellum, the offset, another tackle on the outside. You'll see wide receivers Elijah Campbell and Jalen Thornton. Arturo Louder, there's your hometown horn. Caden Harmon will be back there, and Mason Riggs, the fullback. Bryce Krantz will be in shotgun formation at quarterback. For the defense, for the Howe Bulldogs, the corners are J.D. Thornton and Caden Harmon. Up front, Parker Blunt, Jaron Ing, and Devin Porter. The linebackers tonight, Elijah Campbell, Jackson Atkins, Dyson Dillard, and Spencer Akins. And the safeties, Arturo Louder and Jordan Jones. For the Van Alstyne Panthers, split out wide will be Dylan Porter and Drellin Davis. The slot receiver, Sam Rempel and Nathan Cuthbertson. And in the backfield, Jake Carroll along with quarterback Rhett Gallagher, who's very successful passing and running. Up front for the Panthers, Jacob Taylor, Sawyer Callies, Noel Tormos, Maxwell Nazarko, and Jake Loganville. On the defensive side of the football field for the Van Alstyne Panthers, up front, Hunter Griffin, Cade Morgan, Matthew Mitchell, Paul O'Laughlin. The linebackers, Austin Moore, Aaron Palacio, Zachary Monsier, Sam Rempel. The cornerbacks tonight, Drellin Davis and Cam Montgomery, and the safety is Gage Proctor.
Our captains for the Howe Bulldogs.
Captains on the field are making their way out to center court. It appears that it'll be Sam Akins, Parker Blunt, Bryce Krantz,
number 17,
and Joseph Grant, a captain.
Number 54,
for the Van Alstyne Panthers, it will be Nathan Cuthbertson, along with Gage Proctor and the quarterback, Rhett Gallagher. And we'll head down with our sideline reporter, Night Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline. She's in the coin toss huddle.
Spencer Aikens, by the way, not Sam.
Did I say Spencer? Sam? Okay, Spencer Aikens. Sorry, Sam. He's at OSU.
Okay, here we go.
All right, gentlemen, you're the captains of your teams, all right? Any issues, any problems come from you and you guys only, all right? You know it's a rivalry game, so we're going to look to you guys to keep the players calm, all right?
Right.
Any questions on anything?
That's right.
Okay, coaches have already had the coin toss, so I'm not going to do anything like that, all right? So Howe, you won the toss and elected to receive, all right? And you're going to receive at the clock. So why don't you put your backs there and you guys put your backs over here.
There you have it. The Howe Bulldogs have won the toss. They have elected to receive. And they will be on offense first, heading towards that south end zone.
Elected to receive.
That'll be the 8th game this season that Howe has received the toss. Exactly what Coach Jay likes to do is get the ball first and take time off the clock and march it downfield.
That is what Coach Jay loves to do. We're about ready for the national anthem as the both teams will now face towards the south.
Will you please stand?
The south is from our left to right as Highway 5 looks across right at us, stares at us through the. At some point, that's all going to be grown up with homes. Right now, it's still fields, and you can see the cars driving down Highway 5. At some point, it won't be like that.
It's like Field of Dreams here.
What's up,
it's like Field of Dreams. The headlights coming into the stadium.
Remind me to tell you a story about that.
Dear God, we come to you with open hearts tonight. Take the field, we ask that you keep the players and fans safe in your thoughts. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity and give all the glory to you. Amen.
Our colors are posted tonight by Van Alstyne Boy Scout Troop 44, Scout Sam Baez, Michael Gonzalez, Ben Smith, Jacob Dedman, Noah Fowler, Fisher Robertson, Morgan Ketchum, Caleb Miller, Jackson Snedker, Brendan Murphy, and Scoutmaster Daniel Baez. As Veterans Day approaches and we stand and honor our flag and our country, let us remember those who gave us this precious gift of freedom, the American soldier. Let us remember their sacrifice and honor them as we honor our flag. For we are one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now let us honor America as the Van Alstyne Panther Band, under the direction of Tim Fulton, plays our national anthem.
Not a bad little crowd made it over from Howe. I know it's a long drive, but hey, made the trip over here. Not too bad, not too shabby. So it's football time in Texas, and it's silver spike time in Grayson County, and that is always a bloodfest. And every year, no matter what the records are, it is, it's kind of like your OU Texas. It's those big rivalry games like there, maybe the Cowboys and Redskins. You think about rivalry games, Sherman and Denison. Well, this is no different. These two towns are very similar. They're very close in proximity, and the kids know each other. They've played against each other. There's not a lot of goodwill between some of the kids, but hey, it's all about sportsmanship in the end, and I think hopefully we won't see a flag fest like we saw over in Lono.
Oh gosh, I hope not. Yeah, let's hope it's a fun game, a friendly, quote-unquote, friendly rivalry, hopefully with the Bulldogs on the victorious end of that.
The Van Alstyne Panthers are lining up to kick this one away right to left. Now, they onside kicked against the JV twice last night to open the game. Let's see what the varsity selects to do here tonight. Doing the kicking for Van Alstyne apparently will be Austin Moore. And Moore, no, it's not Moore. It is Moore. He puts a high kick that's going to go close to J.D. Thornton, who has it knocked out of his hands, and it's recovered by Van Alstyne at the 40-yard line, 41-yard line.
That was a very high end-over-end kick that stayed in the air for about 3 or 4 seconds. J.D. Thornton had to come up to receive it and couldn't handle it cleanly, and as soon as he hit it, he got popped pretty good. Ball came loose, and Van Alstyne, just like last week against Commerce, has great field position on the mishandled kickoff by Howe.
I was about to say, it's almost exactly what happened a week ago against Commerce. Shotgun formation, Gallagher in the gun, sends a man in motion from right to left. They toss it to him, coming near side and trying to find the corner with a flag down. J.D. Thornton makes the tackle on Drellin Davis, and an illegal shift, we're told, will be the flag against Van Alstyne.
Yeah, Drellin Davis on the jet sweep around the left side, and the flag was a legal shift, so at least to make things a little bit more difficult here for the Panthers.
Man, one play and one awesome job of spotting by our new spotter over there, Blake Burnett. Again, Stephen Braswell not with us. Stephen's not losing his job. When anyone
even if he is in Austin, he's still not losing his job, right? For going to Austin.
So this will be against Howe. Okay, the ball will be spotted at the 34-yard line after the penalty.
2 infractions on the play, illegal substitution.
So a legal substitution on the Bulldogs and a legal procedure against Van Alstyne. So they'll offset, and the ball will be moved back at the spot of the 41-yard line where we started this thing a moment ago. So again, Van Alstyne moving right to left, way down there on the field. It's a long way away.
It is.
So Cuthbertson in the slot on the far side, along with Davis, who split out wide right. Gallagher all alone in the gun, drops back 2-3 steps, now he's flush, and now he's sacked in the backfield. Back to the 49-yard line. Spencer Akins, along with Devin Porter, corral him for the big loss, back to the 48.
Akins from his linebacker position, Porter from the defensive end position, just collapsed down on Gallagher, almost untouched there as they came to the quarterback.
Panthers moving in a hurry, handoff Jake Carroll right side, a lot of room to run, and he breaks tackles for a first down run to the 30, to the 29, to the 28-yard line. Harmon in on the tackle, and he had some help.
Well, they're able to make up for that sack there on a first down long run there by Carroll.
Moving in a hurry, 20-yard run. Gallagher looks in the end zone, deep ball, and it's going to be caught easily about 8 yards deep by Dylan Porter for the score. And Van Alstyne strikes first blood with 10:53 left to go here in the first quarter.
That was just a post route there, and Porter, Gallagher with great touch on that pass, just lost it in the air, and Porter just had to run under it and catch it at the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
The swinging gate for the PAT. Gallagher's going to get it. He's going to try to run it from the gate, and he's in. 2-point conversion for Gallagher. And the Van Alstyne Panthers are off to a very quick 8-0 lead with 10:53 remaining in quarter number 1. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
If you're looking for a welding company that will always meet your expectations, we are just the team you need. Robertson Welding Service can do industrial, commercial, or domestic. Robertson Welding Service guarantees the quality and satisfaction of your project at a fair price. We provide precision, custom, and repair service in all steels. We even weld aluminum and stainless. You can be comfortable that Robertson Welding Service is the right company for your project. We can be found on Facebook, or you can call us at 903-328-6588. That's 903-328-6588.
Welcome back as Van Alstyne fakes the Quail onside. The Exalt Realty scoring drive recap. 4 plays, 41 yards for Van Alstyne. And it took a minute and 7 seconds off the clock. It was a 28-yard touchdown pass from Gallagher to Porter. And here's the Tech Wave kickoff. It's going to be fumbled by Caden Harmon and picked up by Van Alstyne. Now a whistle blew early. I'm not sure what that was about, whether it was from the stands or whether it was on the field, but a whistle blew early.
I heard that whistle too, and Harmon called for the fair catch, but it went right through his arms. And let's see what that whistle is. I don't see a flag, but maybe they're saying that's a fair catch. And
I think they're going to say an inadvertent whistle, and I think that's what it was. So Howe's going to catch a break here, I believe. Or are we going to do it again? Apparently a re-kick.
Well.
All right, Tech Wave's getting 3 kickoffs now,
right.
really. You know, a minute 7 off the clock. We got 3 sponsorships for Tech Wave. How about that?
They'll love that.
So now Van Alstyne's probably going to pin their ears back on this one, you would imagine. As Howe sends Bryce Krantz deep. I believe that's Krantz.
We got Elijah Campbell and Caden Harmon kind of switching sides. Campbell's coming over here to the near side on the Van Alstyne sideline, and then Harmon's going to the far side.
Van Alstyne lining up, ready to kick this one again. See if they fake the Quail onside. They run to the ball. They fake the Quail onside, and now they'll back up, and we'll see what happens. Jackson Atkins splits wide way over to the numbers. And the Tech Wave kickoff is just about in the air, and it is. It's going to be caught by a lineman, Alex Kellum, or is that 60? At the 43-yard line.
That's Samuel Cherry.
Welcome back to action, Samuel Cherry. He's been out most of the year with a dislocated elbow. That's a pretty nice way to come back right there. That was a big play for Howe. 44-yard line is where Howe will start with the football with 10:53 on the clock.
All right, offensively, you want to march this thing down and score, but you want to take some time off the clock, and you want to keep the offense for Van Alstyne off the field as much as possible.
Howe sends a man in motion. Caden Harmon slots to the far side. 2 men go in motion, and here's a handoff near side and hit pretty hard right at the line of scrimmage is Mason Riggs. Good for maybe about a yard up to the 45-yard line.
A lot of motion there on that. Had a couple of slot backs in motion there, and hands off to Riggs up the middle. Riggs had a good game a couple of weeks ago against Lono. Nobody really had a great game last week rushing against Commerce, but Riggs gets a handoff, gets about a 1-yard gain up the middle.
Aaron Palacio on the stop for Van Alstyne. 2nd down and 9 coming up. 10:25 on the clock. And Howe comes up. Another twin set for the Bulldogs, split out wide to the left. 2 slot backs. Louder goes in motion, a drop snap. He gets the toss coming left, looking for some blocks. Kind of sneaks through maybe for a yard up to the 46-yard line.
It's interesting. We see Bryce Krantz starting at quarterback in for Leighton Elvington, and Krantz dropped the snap there when he initially got it and was able to still gather himself and toss it over to Louder. And Louder gets about 2 or 3 yards in the gain. It's going to be a 3rd and about 8 on the play. 3rd and 8 on the next down.
So 9:46 and rolling here in quarter number 1. Got some fogged up windows. I'm going to have to sit down. I don't normally do that. 3rd down and 8. 4 receivers bunched up on the left side. Krantz drops back 3 steps, looks across the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. Trying to hit Caden Harmon at the 35-yard line, and it's Alstyne Moore in coverage, and Howe is going to have to punt on their first series.
Howe looking like they're showing their air raid offense there with 4 receivers to the left side all together and try to get across the middle of the receiver there, but fell incomplete, just a little bit high for the receiver.
So Elijah Campbell back to punt this one away. It's a high kick, and taken at the 25-yard line is Davis, coming near side and brought down immediately before he hits the 30-yard line at the 29 by Arturo Lauder, and Van Alstyne will set up shop for the first time deep in their own territory.
Good job there by Lauder with the tackle there, and it looked like Parker Blunt kind of slowed him down there, and then Lauder able to finish him off on that, make a minimal return for Van Alstyne.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. Jake Carroll in the backfield along with Gallagher. Everybody bunched together. They sent 4 receivers bunched up on the near side. Heading toward the north end zone. Gallagher gets it, toss near side. Jake Carroll, he's got the 30. He gets a good block. He's got the 40. He's got the 50. He's knocked out of bounds by Lauder just before the 35-yard line at the 30. Well, they'll actually give him a great spot and put him at the 34.
Pitch out to the left side, and he got great blocks. He had those 4 receivers to the left, kind of a decoy. He used them as blockers. He got around the edge and got a big gain.
So 1st and 10 on the Howe side of the ball. Gallagher looks right, throws right, setting up the screen. Caught at the 30, making a move to the 20, to the 15, and dragging Howe Bulldogs to the 16-yard line.
Gallagher's pass complete to number 9.
It was Alstyne Moore on the reception, and they'll spot it at the 16. Again, Van Alstyne moving very quickly. Handoff right up the middle to Carroll. He's got quite a bit of room and enough yardage to get in the end zone for a 16-yard touchdown. Van Alstyne strikes it again.
And just to draw off the middle there, a couple of Bulldogs got a hand on them, but just never wrapped up there. They're going to have to do better tackling. Again, that's been an issue for the Bulldogs all season long, is tackling. And they're going to have to do that here tonight if they're going to have any chance of staying in this game, as they're down 14-0 early on in the first quarter.
So they fake the swinging gate now. Now they're getting traditional mode to kick the PAT and try to kick the PAT is Aaron Beckham. The kick is up, looks high enough, looks true enough, and it is good enough. So VA with the 15-point lead, 15-0 with 8:48 left to go in quarter number 1. We'll be right back right after this.
Monty, that was Damius Karowski on the tackle. Hey, this is Michael Mosier. I may not be up in that luxury outdoor suite on top of the press box, but hey, I'm still supporting the Bulldogs. I'm proud to be a part of the Howe Athletic Booster Club, where it's only $25 to become a member. I may have retired from pronouncing those difficult names on Friday nights, but I can say go Dogs without batting an eye. Become a black and white, towel-waving Bulldog fan by signing up at each home game behind the home bleachers, and remember, Aljundo Dakenstater on the stop.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Welcome back. We're ready for the Tech Wave kickoff once again. And I'll give you the Exalt Realty scoring drive recap in just a moment. Got some battery swapping to do here as they fake the Quail onside. Kickoff return has not been the strong suit of the Howe Bulldogs so far tonight or last week. There's a deep kick. This is going to go way back to the 5, to the 3. And picking it up at the goal line is Krantz, I believe. He'll come near side and brought down at the 13-yard line. The scoring drive recap for Howe was 4 plays and 71 yards. And it took about 37 seconds off the clock. Capped off by a 16-yard touchdown run by Jake Carroll. And after this play, we'll check. That was our Exalt Realty scoring drive recap. After this play, we'll check down with our Knight Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline Slauson.
Looks like he had a personal foul against the Panthers. I think it was like a late hit there. After Krantz went down, a Panther player came in and hit him right at the very end. I don't know if it may have been inadvertently, but either way, the officials called that, so Bulldogs get a little bit better field position at the 28.
So here come the Dogs, 1st and 10, left to right. Under center now, it appears to be Elvington. He'll send a man in motion. It goes one side to the other. It's Krantz in there, and he'll hand off to Mason Riggs for about 2, possibly 3 yards to the 31-yard line.
Hand off there to Riggs. Remember, you don't have Cameron Blesseye tonight. You got mainly it's going to be Riggs, Louder, Harmon. Those will be kind of some of your running backs here tonight, but no Cameron Blesseye.
Matthew Mitchell on the stop there for the Panthers. 2nd down and about 7 coming up, as this is a kind of a reverse inside trap to Spencer Akins, and that was sniffed out nicely by the Panthers, going nowhere. Matter of fact, a loss back to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, inside trap there, and he had nowhere to go. There was Akins.
3rd down and 9, 7:46 rather. Panthers with an early 15-0 lead in their own backyard. Bulldogs will send out twins to the far side near Highway 5. And a man goes in motion. Is Louder. Everybody's stacked over there on the left side. Krantz gets it, drops back 3 steps, looking to throw. Deep down the middle, double covered is Arturo Louder, but Krantz looks that way anyway and overshoots him, and thankfully overshoots everyone. And it's 4th down for Howe and punt time, as Davis was in coverage for the Panthers.
Yeah, Krantz got a pretty good cannon on him, but just, threw it right down the middle, double coverage. I think that was the receiver he was going to go to regardless, but yeah, he was double covered. Again, Krantz has got a good arm on him. May have some accuracy issues, but if he can find an open man, it'll be interesting to see how they do the passing game here.
Elijah Campbell to punt. It's a low wobbly kick, bounces at the 39, gets a good Howe roll inside the 20. It's a great punt. Going to keep rolling near the 15-yard line. They'll kill it at the 16. So a great punt by Campbell with 7:05 on the clock here in quarter number 1. A moment ago, Van Alstyne went 71 yards on 4 plays. And right here, they would have to go 84, it appears. Let's check down with our Knight Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline Slauson.
Hey guys, so tonight, obviously the last game of the season, someone else ending the season, their 30th season with the Bulldogs, trainer Ricky Ake. I talked to him about what does this mean to be with this team for 30 years. He says he's loved it. He's loved the team. He's loved watching all the kids grow. And at this point, he's seen their dads and some of their uncles play too.
In the meantime, here's Davis on a reverse, and a late flag comes down. 2 flags come in. And it would have been about a 7-yard gain, but we'll check the flags. It could be offsetting. And Caroline's right. Ricky Ake's been down there a long time. You didn't say that was this is his last game, did you?
Yeah, I didn't.
No. In fact, I asked him, any plans on leaving? He said no.
Okay. Going to make sure.
That'd be breaking news, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would, yeah. He might as well go for 50, right? So it's going to be a face mask against Van Alstyne and a personal foul. I didn't catch the first one.
I think it was a legal block below the waist, I believe, on Van Alstyne, and a face mask against Howe.
So we have offsetting penalties, and we'll replay it back at the 16-yard line. 6:55 on the clock. Van Alstyne spreading everybody out to the near side. 3 receivers near side. Gallagher in the gun. Rimpel, the right slot. Davis split out wide right. Man goes in motion, and they're going to fake the hand to him and throw the swing pass inside. Nice coverage. Elijah Campbell makes a great play on Nathan Cuthbertson as Cuthbertson made the inside bubble screen catch, and Campbell was right there to bring him down. Only 2 yards on the pass and catch.
Good job there by Campbell. Yeah, as soon as Cuthbertson got the catch, he was able to. Campbell's right there to bring him down.
Here come the Panthers quickly. Gallagher wants to throw over the middle, caught, and Porter has another first down and more up to about the 35-yard line before he's game tackled and corralled there with 6:09 on the clock. A new set of downs for Van Alstyne.
Part of his offense here for Panthers right now is to get the ball out quickly. Get it to your playmakers.
And another quick snap. This is a handoff straight up the middle. Another first down. This is a run. I think that is not Carroll. That is the running back Justin Barnes into the game. Van Alstyne quickly again, and a flag as Van Alstyne is really trying to rush this thing, and the officials are going to say they got off a little bit too quick. The officials for tonight, let me check this. They are the referee David McCauley, the umpire Aaron Black, the head linesman John Orahood, the line judge Ben Metcalf, the back judge Dave Chop, the side judge is Corey Posey, and the field judge is Dennis Bennett. They'll back this one up 5 yards up to the 42-yard line. And Gallagher hands right up the middle, and once again that's Barnes, and he gains enough across midfield to the 48-yard line in Howe territory.
The thing about this Van Alstyne team, too, is they're very balanced. They can run or pass the ball, and they're very dangerous both ways.
Gallagher up the middle. Barnes again, first down again to the 39.
Barnes just a draw up the middle, just plowed his way over that defensive line, over the defensive line for a first down.
Quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Gallagher in the gun. He fakes the hand this time, drops back, looking across the middle, deep down the field, right side. Wide open man is Davis, who strolls in the end zone. Touchdown, Van Alstyne. Right over the head of, I believe that's Jordan Jones.
Yeah, it almost looked like maybe like a little post pattern there to the end zone, and Jones was in coverage, and Jones went up there to try to knock it away, but I think he maybe went a little too early, just over his outstretched paw there, and right to the hands of the receiver of Davis, and in for the touchdown.
So 21-0 for the moment. And we're going to see Beckham again for the PAT. 5:14 on the clock. And the kick looks up, looks good, and it's true. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back right after this.
The First Baptist Church here in Howe, Texas would like to invite you and your family to a celebration of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Each Sunday morning at 10:30, we meet for worship at 100 East Davis Street in Howe. Prior to that, we have relevant Bible fellowships for all ages beginning at 9:15. Join us each week to declare the hope that is found only in Christ. Be ready to experience the life-changing power of the gospel. There is only one message for every generation, and that message is Jesus.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at MrRedInsurance.com.
Welcome back as Van Alstyne's taking a 22-0 lead. 5:14 left to go here in quarter number one. The Exalt Realty scoring drive recap, 5 plays, 84 yards. It took a minute 51 off the clock, and it was capped off by a 39-yard touchdown pass from Gallagher to Davis. It is Gallagher's second touchdown pass of the evening, and now we're ready for our Tech Wave kickoff by Austin Moore, or is it going to be? It is Moore, a deep kick back to about the 5. Krantz retreats, picks it up at the 3, and it crosses the 5, crosses the 10, met hard at the 10, and Howe's going to start way deep in their own territory. They'll give him the 11 with forward progress.
The ball bounced and hit. Krantz gets it about the goal line. It's probably a good idea at this point. If they're going to kick it deep, just let that thing roll into the end zone and just start at the 20-yard line. Because Krantz is getting it at the goal, dropping it, picking up at the goal line, and getting out to about the 10-yard line, and putting the Bulldogs in not great field position.
If you haven't heard, the Bulldogs are wearing a helmet decal tonight for L.B. Kirby, who passed away on Monday. He was the most decorated World War II veteran in the state of Texas until Monday, when he passed. And here's a fumble by Mason Riggs, who's going to be trapped at the 1-yard line. It was a toss to the near side, and Riggs just dropped it He went back to the 1, picked it up, and nearly went into the end zone for a safety, but he was down at the 1, and that's where Howe will be placed after a 10-yard loss.
It looked like when he got that pitch, he it took a step or two, so he didn't fumble the pitch initially. He made a football move, and then all of a sudden it just kind of bobbled out of his arms, and luckily he was able to get down on it at the 1.
So it's 2nd down and 20 as Elvington goes in at quarterback for the first time tonight. 2 receivers to the left in twins formation. And Elvington trying to find his way out of the end zone area by himself. Gets enough yardage to about the 3 where it's 3rd and 18.
Leighton Elvington, who was out last week on a suspension due to a personal foul from Lona, back into the game. See if he can maybe get this offense off the ground here. But it's going to be hard to do from his own 3-yard line. And 3rd and 18 to go.
Well, Howe's philosophy is to stall and stay on the field as long as you can. And teams have found to combat that, they go fast. And Bonham did that to the Bulldogs. And now Van Alstyne going that same mode. And Howe trying to take some time off the clock. And there's a whistle before this one gets underway. It was 3rd and 18. It's going to be against Howe. So you can't go too much further. The ball's at the 3. It'll be spot at the 1.5-yard line.
You know, I remember in the Reigns game a couple weeks during the Reigns game, it was about 3rd down. Bulldogs were in deep in their own field position, and they just did kind of a pooch punt to just get it out of there. I wonder if it would behoove them right now to do that. Just get the ball out of there and give the Panthers field position right around the 40, 50-yard line maybe.
Well, you got to
go for it now.
You got to be careful here. 3rd down and 19 at your own 1.5. Handoff straight up the middle and not going very far, maybe a yard on the carry. Was that Wyndon?
I believe that was. Blake, did you see that? If that was Wyndon?
I think it was Wyndon,
Yeah.
and it was. So it'll be 4th down time and another punt for the Howe Bulldogs. They're 3rd so far of this first quarter.
I hate to bring up a bad memory, but last week, ball went over the head of Elijah Campbell out for a safety, so you got to be careful here.
Snap is good, and Campbell's punt's pretty good. It's going to be fair catch called for at the 39-yard line by Davis, and that's where Van Alstyne will start at the Howe 49-yard line with 2:40 on the clock.
Panthers have been able to move the ball at will, 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. And Bulldogs are just need to try at least just make it difficult for them. They've been able to move the ball pretty much down at will and move it fast too. A lot like Bonham did.
A very fast-paced offense. They want to snap it in a hurry after this first down play. Carroll goes in motion. They fake it to him and throw that bubble screen again. This time, Cuthbertson makes the catch and has more than 2 yards. He has maybe 4 or 5 up to the 35-yard line. A flag comes in from the side judge. Jackson Atkins makes the tackle, but let's check the flag. It's on the far side.
Screenplay in the middle of the field there. Yeah, good job by Atkins.
Let's check down with our Night Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline Slauson. You have any idea what that flag's about?
No, guys, I don't. In fact, I was back here where the QB got sacked, and he was kind of complaining, so I thought maybe that was for them, but it was not, so I unfortunately don't know.
So it's a personal foul against Howe, which will move the ball inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Yikes. As if they needed help.
Wow.
So now
they don't need any help either.
Gallagher in the pistol with Carroll behind him, and now he wants to throw right side, setting up the screen. Proctor makes the catch, and he'll slam forward for about 4 yards, somewhere around the 16.
Yeah, just
Harmon makes the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, screen to Proctor there, get it to the right side. A good job there by Harmon. It means to make the tackle, make the game.
Yards on the pass and catch. And now Van Alstyne looks over to the sideline to try to get the new play. They actually stop and breathe for a moment. They were going really fast every play. Here they go, 2nd down and 7. Gallagher handoff. Carroll straight up the middle, bumbling to the end zone. another touchdown, another 16-yard touchdown for Jake Carroll, his second of the night.
Carroll just a draw at the middle there and just kind of tiptoed his way around, stayed very patient as he went up the gut of the Howe defense, and able to just go into the end zone for a touchdown there.
PAT by Beckham is good. We have a new score in Van Alstyne, 29-0 with 1:36 left in quarter number 1.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8.
Sonic of Howe is where you get great food and big smiles and a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players.
Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Hey Bulldogs, great news. I'm your hometown realtor and I'm also a Bulldog. Hello, I'm Kevin Sarles and I'm with Exalt Realty. I wanted to tell you about the new 321 program for our new home buyers or those who haven't owned a home in 3 years. A $1,500 grant is tied to the program and a $2,000 gift card at a local major retailer is available. This promotion is for a limited time and qualifications do apply. Call me anytime, 903-821-4163.
Welcome back. Austin Moore set to kick the Tech Wave kickoff here in just a moment. Let's do the Exalt Realty scoring drive recap. It was 3 plays, 49 yards for Van Alstyne, and it took 1:04 off the clock, and it was Jake Carroll with his second 16-yard touchdown of the evening, which brings our new score 29-0. VA in the lead, and the quest for the silver spike seems to be clear in hand at this point, not even 11 minutes into the game.
These kickoffs have been iffy here the last 3 or 4 times.
Moore has been banging them deep, and the Tech Wave kickoff is in the air. Caught at the 6-yard line by Krantz coming near side, looking for a block, and has hit pretty hard, but bounces out of a tackle up to the 20, up to the 30, and down at the 32-yard line, and 2 flags are down.
That's a good job there of bouncing off a tackle and then bouncing out to the right side and making a little something. Let's see what the flags are, though.
Standing at the feet, one flag is at the feet of Jackson Adkins, who stands there, but that doesn't indicate he's guilty. He just happens to be standing in the area. These are usually blocking fouls on the return team, but let's check and see if there's any difference in the 2 flags that were thrown. Blocked below the waist by Howe. So they'll back him up 15 yards. So, you know, one of those things where you had something good happen for the first time, but you got to go back 15 yards because of a flag.
Again, kind of like last week, you take 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And Bulldogs do not have a first down yet in this game with 1:27 to go in the first quarter. It's still down 29-0.
2 men in the backfield along with Krantz, who's in the gun. And he'll keep it. He turned around to hand to somebody, but he didn't hand it. He kept it, and he's going to lose yardage back around the 12-yard line.
Yeah, miscommunication back there in the backfield. Yeah, he was trying to hand. He had 2 running backs to his left and to his right. Tried to hand to one of them, and they didn't take it, and he took it around. He took it himself and then got caught back in the backfield for a 3-yard loss.
Monsier on the tackle for Van Alstyne. And it'll be 2nd down and 13 for Howe. A timeout's been called. We'll take 1-2 right back right after this.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches, and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of Howe Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back. 1:17 on the clock for the Bulldogs in the first quarter, down 29-0. Ball at their own 12-yard line, 13-yard line. And they're moving left to right towards the south end zone. They'll send two receivers out far to the left. Out east over there, near Highway 5. Ball's on the left hash. And we're just waiting. We asked for 60-second timeouts, and we only took a 30, and I think that's why they were waiting. They're waiting on us. We're sorry, guys. Man goes in motion is louder from right to left, and Krantz wants to run it straight up the middle, and he's slammed down pretty hard, but he gets a little bit of yardage back that he lost a moment ago, crossing the 15 to the 16-yard line.
And Krantz, who's been quarterback most of these possessions, we've only seen Elvington in on one drive. And it'd be 3rd down and 9. I wonder if we'll see Krantz throw the ball again.
Matthew Mitchell on the stop. Only 53 seconds remaining in this dreadful first quarter. It'll be 3rd down and 9 coming up as Krantz is in the gun. Two receivers to either side. The ball goes through Krantz's hands, and he picks it up, and he's going to try to run with it near side. Up the right hash and brought down at the 12-yard line. Ends up being about a 4-yard loss, 3 yards perhaps. But it could have been a lot worse than that.
What's really bad is that was maybe the most positive thing the Bulldogs have had tonight here was the ball bounced back up into, after a bad snap, back into the arms of Krantz. Krantz picked it up like he was Tony Romo trying to run for his life there after he dropped it.
That was very Romo-like.
Yeah, and able to at least not lose the possession.
So it's punt time for Howe. And I believe the Bulldogs are going to just let the play clock go down.
Good move.
And they will try to punt the ball the other way. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be right back right after this.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com.
Welcome back. We're in the second quarter, 29-0, where Van Alstyne leads the Bulldogs in the quest for the 56th Silver Spike. Howe has yet to have that actual trophy in their town, in their trophy case, since that began. Elijah Campbell's punt is not underway yet because whistles blew before it could get underway.
Probably a good thing because I don't think Campbell was expecting that punt. It came at him.
I'm not sure the whistles had blown to prepare everybody yet.
Including Campbell. Like I said, it came right at him, and he just happened to get his hands up to catch the snap and almost had to punt the ball on the run there.
He'll stand at his goal line. The snap is good. The punt is good. It's a high wobbly kick, going to bounce. Well, it's out of bounds. I thought that one was going to land somewhere around the 45-yard line, but you know how these officials love to walk it back. Still walking, still walking, still walking. What I thought was going to be a good punt ended up not being so much because it went out of bounds. It's a weird angle when it goes up like that. If you've ever been at a ballpark and thought every pitch or every hit that was hit high is going out of the ballpark, that's kind of what that was. It looked like it was going to be a long punt, but it was actually going the other way and out of bounds. So Van Alstyne will start from their own 30, from the Howe 31-yard line with 11:53 in quarter number 2. First down and 10, left to right. Gallagher now looks over at the Van Alstyne bench for the play call. 2 men in the backfield with him, and he'll hand off to Barnes, running over right tackle, escapes the defender, lowers his shoulder, runs over J.D. Thornton, and he'll get near a first down to the probably about the 21.5-yard line.
Again, just a draw up the middle there, and again, here come the Panthers going fast.
Gallagher in the pistol has Barnes behind him, and Rempel stands to his right. Davis is split out wide to the near side and Porter in the slot. Gallagher hands off to Barnes again, straight up the middle, dancing through defenders. Enough for a first down inside the 15, and they'll say stop right at the 15, but there's a flag down.
Barnes and Carroll, both physical runners, and Barnes there just kind of dancing around, just kind of waiting for his blocks to materialize. So he sees a hole and goes through it and gets a decent game, but it may come back here.
Mason Riggs on the tackle for the Bulldogs, and what would have been a first down may not be, as the flag apparently is going to go against Van Alstyne. They'll back this one up. Let's see where they spot this. Holding call, I believe.
I think it was blocked below the waist.
Oh, blocked below the waist. There you go. So it's the big one back to the 35.
Well, Panthers have had their share of penalties tonight.
That was a 19-yard penalty, by the way. So it'll be second down and 14. Gallagher in the pistol. Fakes the hand to Barnes, throws the bubble screen, and that's caught by a receiver who has about 7 or 8 yards. It's going to be Montgomery, Cam Montgomery on the reception, and he'll be able to kind of rumble down to the 26.
Got that bubble screen and good blocking by his receivers. Everybody kind of got a hat on somebody on the Bulldogs. And good gain there by Montgomery. Makes this a reasonable third down and 4 for the Panthers.
9 yards on the pass and catch from Gallagher to Montgomery. They change the play, and Davis comes in a little bit. And Gallagher wants to throw left side, deep left side, and it's going to be caught, but he's out of bounds, so it'll be incomplete. For the first time, Van Alstyne's facing a fourth down situation. 4th and 5 from the Howe 26-yard line.
Yeah, Gallagher threw that up, tried to throw it along the sidelines there, and almost was able to drop it into his receiver. It was just about a yard out of bounds.
So Gallagher, it appears, might have waited a little bit too long on that to let it go. If he had thrown it a little bit sooner, he could have hit him because he was wide open. But he waited a little bit too long. Campbell was there in coverage, and he threw it a little bit too long. On 4th and 5, throwing it, caught. Davis at the 20. He's going to have a first down, but he runs backwards, and now he escapes another defender to the 15-yard line. I thought for a moment he was going to have the first down and then run backwards, and the Bulldogs were going to be able to trap him behind the first down marker, but then he breaks out of another tackle.
He had to get to the 21 to get a first down. He caught it about the 20 and then just went parallel with the 20-yard line, trying to avoid tacklers, and went backwards about a yard, but finally able to get a first down there.
11 yards to Davis. So a man goes in motion as Montgomery from right to left. Gallagher gets it, and he's going to fake the hand. Looks across the middle, now setting it up out of the back. Barnes has it at the 5. He's in. That's Rempel, rather, and that is a wide open touchdown. Rempel had no one within an acre of him, and Van Alstyne has scored again, 35-0, 9:58 left to go in quarter number 2.
Gallagher just sat back there, went through all his progressions. Saw the running back coming out of the backfield in the swing pass and got him over there in the flats and just able to walk into the end zone. Nobody within him, about 5 yards of him, wide open. And he goes from bad to worse here for the Bulldogs.
Beckham on for the kick. Gallagher to hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good, 36-0. Van Alstyne on top, 9:28 left in quarter number 2. We'll be right back right after this timeout.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of Howe Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You're invited to the...
Welcome back. 9:28 left to go in quarter number 2. We're about ready for the Tech Wave kickoff. The Exalt Realty scoring drive recap, 5 plays, 31 yards. And it took a little over 2.5 minutes off the clock. 15-yard touchdown pass from Gallagher to Rimpel. His third different receiver for 3 different touchdown passes early on in this game.
Gallagher spreading the wealth for sure.
Moore to kick this one away, and it is a high kick to the south, and it's going to be taken by Krantz after Louder bobbled it a little bit. It'll be brought down at the 21-yard line by Krantz. I thought for a moment, did I see that right? Where Arturo Louder tried to catch it, he bobbled it, and as the ball was in the air, Krantz ran by him, grabbed it, and ran up for a few yards before he was tackled.
It looked like it went right through Louder's arms, hit the ground, bounced up. Krantz is right there to take it on the carom and return it to the 21-yard line.
Well, I haven't seen that. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Elvington in at quarterback, 9:21 on the clock. Campbell comes split near side. Akins is the slot back on the near side. He goes in motion from left to right. Elvington has everybody. It's a busted play. There was 3 guys going the wrong way, and that's going to be a loss, and a flag is down.
Yeah, that didn't look right from the beginning.
That is ugly. So we'll see what the flag is about. Elvington lost about 2 yards.
Looks like an illegal procedure against the Bulldogs. Looks like you're trying to handle the fullback. The fullback didn't expect to get it. Elvington kept it and then was running for his life. And drops back 2 or 3 yards. And again, the Bulldogs do not have a first down. I don't think there's been anything positive about tonight as far as these possessions. I mean, obviously there's not a first down. There's hardly any positive yardage. I mean, there's not really a lot of bright spots.
Campbell was punting pretty good at first. Here's Elvington get a handoff straight up the middle, and not much doing there. Right over center, pushed towards the left guard. Riggs on the carry for maybe a yard.
Handoff there to Riggs to get basically no gain, and again a 3rd and long situation here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and there's just not a lot good to talk about as far as what's going on in this football game so far. You hate to say it, it's just not a lot good to talk about. Man in motion is Akins, and this will be a handoff up the middle. Good for maybe a yard or 2 is Devin Porter on the carry. He gets up across the 21-yard line as our spotter, Blake Burnett, tells us that almost every Van Alstyne Panther that is wearing a blue jersey tackled Devin Porter on that play.
Porter gets the handoff. We saw him rumble for about 9 or 10 yards last week, and he had a decent-sized hole there for a second, which closed up very quickly as the blue shirts corralled him.
Davis stands at midfield as Elijah Campbell punts this one away. A wobbly kick goes right to Davis, who fields it on the run. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, making a move. Makes another move to the 5. He's in. Touchdown Van Alstyne. 43-0 with 7:36 on the clock in quarter number 2, and we're awaiting a PAT.
Davis caught that punt on the run. Made some good moves, found a good hole. A great move there at the end, and able to get in the end zone for the touchdown. And when it rains, it pours, and it is just a monsoon here in Van Alstyne, figuratively. 42-0.
Beckham on for the PAT. Gallagher to hold. The snap is good. The hold is good. And the kick is good. 43-0.
is good.
Howe trails Van Alstyne. We'll be back right after this timeout.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for.
If you're looking for a welding company that will always meet your expectations, we are just the team you need. Robertson Welding Service can do industrial, commercial, or domestic. Robertson Welding Service guarantees the quality and satisfaction of your project at a fair price. We provide precision, custom, and repair service in all steels. We even weld aluminum and stainless. You can be comfortable that Robertson Welding Service is the right company for your project. We can be found on Facebook, or you can call us at 903-328-6588. That's 903-328-6588.
Welcome back. It's 43-0 in the 56th Silver Spike. 7:36 remaining in quarter number 2. And we're about to send Caroline Slauson roaming around somewhere in the stands, talking to band members, talking to cheerleaders, talking to parents. We're going to let you roam free, Miss Caroline, and we're going to turn this into a talk show.
Right.
The Tech Wave kickoff is just about underway. There is no Exalt Realty scoring drive recap because it was a 45 or about a 50-yard return by Davis on the punt return. Here's the kick. Fair catch called for by Jordan Jones at the 30-yard line. And now Howe will start there with 7:36 on the clock.
I forgot there was a positive play here for the Bulldogs. It was that sack in the first opening drive between with Devin Porter and Spencer Akins. But that's been about the only positive bright spot on this in this game so far for Howe.
So Howe starts at their own 30-yard line.
From their own 30-yard line. First down, 10.
Moving right to left with Logan Elvington split out wide right. Campbell near side. And this will be a handoff to Spencer Akins over right guard. He'll gain 2 to the 32.
Flag on the play.
And a hand off there to Akins, and right the middle we see Elvington, who was usually under center. He was in shotgun during that formation.
Dalton McCaslin on the tackle for the Panthers. 7:30 on the clock. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage, and guess who it's on?
Hold on the Bulldogs.
So wipe out the. Well, I guess it's a spot foul. We'll spot it at the 20, actually.
After the penalty, it will be first down and 20 for Howe.
They'll just move it back, so wipe that one out. The Spencer Akins run. Or you can give it to Sam Akins if you want to. But a timeout's been called. We'll take one, too. We'll be right back right after this.
Monty, that was Damius Karowski on the tackle. Hey, this is Michael Mosier. I may not be up in that luxury outdoor suite on top of the press box, but hey, I'm still supporting the Bulldogs. I'm proud to be a part of the Howe Athletic Booster Club, where it's only $25 to become a member. I may have retired from pronouncing those difficult names on Friday nights, but I can say go Dogs without batting an eye. Become a black and white, towel-waving Bulldog fan by signing up at each home game, behind the home bleachers, and remember, Aljundo Dakenstater on the stop.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Welcome back. 7:20 left to go in quarter number 2. And yes, you see that score right. 43-0. Van Alstyne in the lead over Howe. It's first down and 20 after the holding penalty. And this will be Elvington in the gun. And he'll hand off right side, corralled immediately before he could get back to the line of scrimmage. And I think that.
Hand off to Akins there.
Is it Akins? Okay, it's another loss of about 2 yards.
inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Akins gets the handoff, and he just doesn't have any time to wait for a block to develop before. I mean, he's got 4 blue jerseys, that defensive line and the linebacking core, and just about 8 or 9 players from Van Alstyne on top of him.
This drive started at the 30 and since has gone back 12 yards. Elvington in the gun. He fakes the hand. He wants to run it now. He bumps out of 1 tackle, bumps out of 2, and now is corralled for another loss back to the 14-yard line. 4-yard loss.
You know, I give it to the Bulldogs. They've tried to change up their offense. You know, their main principle is to keep it on the ground and run the ball, and they've tried to do some different things throughout the year, some different wrinkles, and go from 2 backs to 1 back, 2 wide receivers, but they have just still not been able to find the right antidote for this offense to get it going.
2 receivers out wide, or 3 now go out wide to the right as we hit the 5:52 mark. Man in motion is Louder. Elvington wants to throw, screen pass Louder, caught 10, makes a move to the inside, escapes a couple of tackles, crosses the 20-yard line to about the 21. And Logan Elvington gets a great block on the outside to spring free Louder for just a moment. But not enough, near enough for a first down. It's 4th and 20 still, and again, Campbell's going to have to punt. I hope he was fixing to head into basketball season. He's going to have to rest that leg a little bit.
That calf.
High punt going to be taken by Davis and dropped by Davis at the 47. He gets back on it before being tackled by Louder at the 47-yard line.
Good pursuit there by Louder. As soon as Davis dropped that ball and picked it up, Louder was right there on top of him, and Louder may have hurt. He comes off limping off the field there. He's going to stay. Well, he's going to stay on the field, though. He's still limping.
They'll move it back to the 46 as Howe gets kind of lucky there because it was at the 47. Well, what's a yard matter in this game? Shotgun, toss, near side. That's Montgomery, and he has the 50. He has the 47 being run back the other way, and it's finally brought down at about the 47. A flag comes down as Jackson Adkins and Spencer Akins make the tackle.
On the jet sweep there, good job by Harmon with the tackle, grabbed him by his legs and wouldn't let go. And Jackson Adkins came and finished him off.
So a flag down in the Howe secondary. It's going to be a holding call against Van Alstyne. And you wonder what a game like this does for Van Alstyne, to be quite honest with you. They are going to be in the district championship a week from now. And by the way, we'll carry that against Bonham Friday night in Bonham. And we will carry the district championship game. But what does a game like this do for Van Alstyne is basically they're going to take the rest of the game off.
Well, it gets you a chance right now to kind of polish some things, improve some things. One thing they're going to have to look at is their penalties. That is one of the negative spots for their team so far has been some penalties.
Well, when you get in a game like this and you're up 43-0 in the second quarter, the officials are going to call everything they can on you.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. First down and a long way as Gallagher wants to throw. That's not Gallagher. And it's a deep home run ball that's caught at the 17, and into the end zone goes George Hall. Proctor threw it, and he's down, or a Van Alstyne Panther player is down. But it's a touchdown of somewhere around 47 yards. And that's Proctor who's injured.
It was a long pass downfield there, and there was, I believe it was Thornton and Jones, I believe, in coverage back there, and able to throw it up there, and the receiver came down with it, just out jumped, really timed it better in the jump, and able to come down with it, and should have been intercepted there. It was kind of a jump ball there for the Bulldogs should have been able to have with 2 defenders there.
It's 49-0, and we're awaiting another PAT, and the kick by Beckham is up. And it's good, and Van Alstyne has half 100 with 4:49 left to go in quarter number 2. We'll be back right after this timeout.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
First Baptist Church here in Howe, Texas would like to invite you and your family to a celebration of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Each Sunday morning at 10:30, we meet for worship at 100 East Davis Street in Howe. Prior to that, we have relevant Bible fellowships for all ages beginning at 9:15. Join us each week to declare the hope that is found only in Christ. Be ready to experience the life-changing power of the gospel. There is only one message for every generation, and that message is Jesus.
50-0, Van Alstyne in the lead in the 56th Battle of the Silver Spike. 2 plays, 47 yards for the Panthers, and it takes 47 seconds off the clock. It was a 53-yard touchdown from Proctor to George Hall, and that's your Exalt Realty scoring drive recap. Your Tech Wave kickoff is about to be underway. They faked the quail onside. We'll check down with Caroline Slauson in just a moment. Right after this Tech Wave kickoff, Moore to bang this one away 3 yards deep from the ball, and he does do so. A high deep kick going to be taken at the 10-yard line, coming straight up the right hash, now coming to the near hash, and that's Krantz, who had some room but stopped because he got in trouble, and he is going to be corralled at the 26-yard line. Let's check down with Caroline Slauson.
Hey guys, I've been down on the sideline all season long with my new friends, the flag runners. They've been dying to come on there with me. Tell me your name and what flag you are.
I'm Brandon, I run the S flag.
I'm Jacob, and I run the H flag.
I'm Dylan, the captain, and I run the H flag.
I'm Brian, the second, and I run the big Bulldog.
What's y'all's favorite memory from the season?
Probably whenever they all ran out of the Bulldog, and then we were running, and it's his phone, and we all were flipping all over the field, almost falling, and we were trying not to make an embarrassing moment.
That's me too, guys. That's me too. Back to you.
Thank you. Helvington hands off to the near side back, and that's going to be Harmon on his, I think, first carry of the night for about 2 yards up to the 30.
Stopped by number 14, Zach Smith, and number 18.
Well, the Bulldogs, again, 4:15 here left in the first half.
Gain of 3.
And if they could just get a first down and maybe run this clock out and just take your sweet time and run this clock out for the half and just get back in the locker room and regroup.
2nd down and 7 coming up. Yeah, there's just not been a lot to get excited about.
It really isn't.
And y'all know me, I love getting excited. Helvington handoff. No, he keeps it. Wyndon went in as if he was going to get the carry. It didn't get put in his stomach, and he turned around like, what happened? And about the same time, Helvington got buried at the line of scrimmage at the 30. Another busted play, perhaps.
You know, you asked me a while ago about what Van Alstyne, what they're thinking this game, too. Another thing they're probably thinking is, let's not get anybody injured. They got district championship coming up next week, and then could be a pretty good playoff run for them.
Howe will bunch 4 receivers on the right side, and Helvington wants to throw. Now he's flushed out of the pocket. Now he's corralled. Now he's dropped at the 21. Another big loss for Howe. 4th down and long coming up.
Helvington sacked on the play.
Looked like that was, couldn't see the number there, but number 44 for the Panthers there.
Contravius Moore.
Moore comes
number 44.
Comes pretty much unblocked there to take down Helvington back to the line of scrimmage. Big loss there for the Bulldogs, and another punt here for Campbell.
Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7th punt of the first half.
Wow.
And Campbell will boot this one away. It's a high wobbly kick. Davis calls for the fair catch at his own 48-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will set up shop on their next possession with 2:48 left to go in the second quarter. 48 yards away from pay dirt, and now we'll We'll check, see if Caroline can corral. We'll just let you pop on, Caroline, in between plays, and we'll still have to call the game, but we'll let you pop on at anytime you have somebody down there.
Let's see what interview she can line up here.
So here's Van Alstyne, 1st and 10, left to right, handoff to Barnes, breaking tackles, carrying Bulldogs for a first down inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. The ball's on the turf, but Van Alstyne says they have maintained possession.
Guys, I'm here with Cameron on the sideline. Cameron, how you feeling tonight?
I'm doing all right.
After last week, knowing that was your last game and being here tonight on the sideline, how bummed are you that you're here and not on the field?
It sucks. I wish I was out there actually, seeing all my teammates put in all the hard work. It just sucks. Man.
So the Howe Bulldogs have recovered a fumble. There's a bright spot for you. Barnes fumbled. Howe picked it up at the 39-yard line, and they'll move right to left.
Yeah, there's our first turnover of the night here for the Bulldogs. So yeah, see if they can capitalize on that.
And another flag is down before this one can get underway. 1st and 10, moving right to left, but we'll see what the flag is. 2:32 on the clock before quarter number 2 expires. And again, both teams have been flagged mercifully tonight, and it'll be against the Bulldogs. They'll back it up 5, back to the 20 or 34-yard line, rather.
You know, you're right, Monty. It's just hard to get really excited about anything that's going on, especially for the Bulldogs here tonight. I mean, there's just not a lot of positive things going on right now.
So 1st and 15, Elvington fakes the hand, or actually he gives it up the middle, up to the 30-yard line, so fairly.
Number 55.
And another thing you got to wonder, too, in the second half, is the last game of the season, you're losing 50-0. Is there a running clock that goes on in the second half? Is that something Coach Jay maybe considers?
You might think about it.
Yeah.
A 1-yard gain on the carry, 1:59 on the clock, 10 on the play clock. Shotgun, handoff near side, Riggs looking for a hole, and one is not there. He gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 35-yard line, and once again on the tackle for Van Alstyne is Paul O'Loughlin.
Riggs there on that end around there on that trap, and not able to get around the corner there again. Brings up to a 3rd and 14 situation. Wonderful to see. Maybe see Elvington try and throw the ball here.
Well, it's 3rd and 14, perhaps, as Louder will go out right with Logan Elvington, and Layton wants to throw. Deep down near side, looking for Elijah Campbell, who goes up for it, can't come down with it. It was thrown maybe a step too far. It was nice coverage by Cam Montgomery, and the Bulldogs will once again, for the 8th time in the first half, have to punt.
Well, Montgomery was there in single coverage right there with Campbell. Campbell put an outstretched arm out there, hoping to maybe knock it down, maybe try to corral it, but it was just a little bit out of his reach, and that unfortunately also stops the clock, though.
This is about to be the 17th drive of the game when Van Alstyne starts it here in a moment. It's a low kick by Campbell that bounces at the 37 and takes a hop to the 32. And Van Alstyne will take over there with exactly 1 minute on the clock. And you know, they could just take this thing to the house if they wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't think any timeouts are going to be called.
Yeah, this is ugly. I mean, there's really no words to describe this right now. I mean, it's just, this is.
Victory formation for Van Alstyne is Uncle. They'll spot it now after Proctor back into the game after being injured a moment ago. They'll move it back because he's in shotgun formation, so they'll actually lose some yards. So that'll look pretty good on the house stat book, right?
Yeah.
Back to the 28. A loss of 4. Loss of 4 on the play.
Take that.
Another shotgun and another loss of 4 on the play.
This defense is unstoppable.
So that'll be it for the first half. Van Alstyne, your Panthers are leading the Howe Bulldogs 50-0 at the half. We have a special halftime show for you. We talked to LB Kirby, or I did, many years ago, as LB Kirby has been has passed on Monday. He was the most decorated veteran in World War II, living in the state of Texas. Now, he passed on Monday, so I guess that title moves on to somebody else. But we were able to visit with him because he has some interesting stories to tell, not only about his military, but his Howe Bulldog football career, as he was one of the players on the 1942 Howe Bulldog football team. His funeral was earlier today, and we were able to be there and salute Mr. L.B. Kirby for one more time. So why don't we go ahead and let you listen to, we got a little clip for you to honor one more time Mr. L.B. Kirby.
L.B. Kirby, 93 years of age, passed away on Monday. Mr. Kirby is a war legend, a Texas legend, and a Howe treasure. He's a hometown boy who became the most decorated living World War II veteran in Texas. He held that position until Monday, when his body finally gave up on him. Mr. Kirby's awards include the Asiatic Pacific Liberation Medal, the Philippine Liberation Medal, 3 overseas service bars, 7 Bronze Stars, 2 Bronze Arrowheads, and the Purple Heart. Kirby is a 1943 graduate of Howe High School who entered the United States Army only 2 weeks after graduation. He was trained as a machine gunner under General Douglas MacArthur in the 1st Cavalry Division of the United States Army. He was hit in the back by shrapnel from a Japanese rocket which landed him in a field hospital for 3 months. He later rejoined his unit to prepare for an invasion of Japan. Mr. Kirby was one of 25 men remaining from the original 250 of his unit when the Japanese surrendered on August 25, 1945. 2 months and 4 days later, he was granted an honorable discharge from the Army as the rank of corporal. He served 2 years and 5 months, of which 23 months were served overseas in the Asiatic Pacific operation. Mr. Kirby never spoke of his honors. When his wife Dorothy became ill, she requested to see the Purple Heart. Before long, a request had been brought from Senators John Cornyn, K. Bailey Hutchinson. It was only then that the family learned of his military honors. Mr. Kirby was a plumber and a preacher. He pastored churches in Lubbock and Durant. He held positions for churches in financial trouble and required no pay to pastor their churches. In 2013, the city of Howe named L.B. Kirby Avenue in his honor, and later that year he was honored at the Grayson County Commissioner's Court, where then-Judge Drew Bynum read a proclamation honoring him as the most decorated World War II living veteran. In 2015, the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce included Mr. Kirby in the inaugural class of the Howe Hall of Honor. In addition to his heroism, Mr. Kirby was a player for the Howe Bulldogs on the 1942 team that won a district championship without a head coach. Due to wartime, Howe did not hire a coach before the 8th season in school history and planned not to participate in a football schedule for that season. However, Mr. Kirby and fellow teammates petitioned Superintendent Charles R. Thompson to let them coach themselves. After careful counsel, the team was allowed to hold their own practices and eventually won the district championship, serving as their own coach. Services were held today for Mr. L.B. Kirby, a Howe legend. We thought we'd let you listen to Mr. Kirby explain about the 1942 Howe Bulldogs in his own words.
Our big concern at the beginning of the year was just getting to play, because the war was on, and most of the people really at that particular time didn't want us to play. Mr. Thompson told us, he said, if y'all are really serious, well, I'll drive the bus for you, but If you just want to go to have the uniform on, why, I'm not going to fool with you.
I think all could drive the bus for them.
He did. And the first game we played that comes to mind was when we played Bells. And Bells was a pretty powerful team at that time. And the rules didn't protect you like they do right now. And no face guards or anything like that. So at halftime we were 13-0 behind. And most of us either had a bloody nose or lips or something. I had a broke bone in the top of my left foot. So at halftime, Tony, he was our team captain, Tony Brink, and he said, now we come out here to play, and we look like we just started for kindergarten. Now let's get out there and play football. We told Mr. Thompson we were serious. Now let's get serious. And the final deal was we beat them 33 to that 13 they had. They never made another score. Henry Lee Allgood, he's the only fullback that I ever seen that could run low enough to the ground to run between the opposing tackle's legs. And he was really a good fullback. Robert Miller, he ran right halfback and I ran left. And I've always thought that probably down through the years as I've watched the Bulldogs play, that Tony Brinkley was probably the best quarterback that we've ever had. For accuracy and passing, I don't remember any bad ones. For handoffs and fakes, very, very good. And I think the record kind of shows or speaks for itself. I remember in playing Pilot Point, we were playing here at home, and Mrs. Gallimore, her son, J.C. Gallimore, was center, and very, very good. I don't remember ever seeing a bad center or seeing him knocked off balance to where he couldn't make his block. Any of those things, but they had completed a couple of passes on me and Tony Brinkley. He trotted over a little bit and he said, "Kirby, you know what you're doing?" I said, "I know what I'm doing." He said, "Okay." And on those two passes, I watched the speed and counted how long it took the ball to get to the receiver. And they come right back at me the third time. And I had backed off a little bit, and when I saw him look over there and go back with his arm, I knew it was coming. And I took off, and I got it. And I can still hear Mrs. Gallimore today. I guess I will till the day I die. Hollering, "Run, Kirby, run. Run, Kirby, run." I guess I did because I run it back for a touchdown. But it's the little things that you very seldom hear. You very seldom hear someone from the stands. But I heard her. And when we played for my district against Sanger, this has always been a proud moment for me, Monty, because it's the first time in sports and the last time that I have ever seen the fans of an opponent take up for the opposing team. We were tied 12-12. The record shows the game ended in a tie. It did not. Robert Miller took a handoff over right tackle. And but just before he crossed the goal line, he turned parallel to the goal line and fell about a foot across the goal line. The referees brought it back to 1 foot inside. He was in the air, so he couldn't have touched anything or anybody. And called a game an end. The clock had run out at that time. And the fans from Singer piled onto the field declaring that he had made the touchdown. He made the score. And I was actually afraid for a little while. I thought they were going to do something to the referees. But Monty referees never changed their mind. And of course, everybody playing probably was like me. They were headed for a war either in Europe or the South Pacific. And so nobody left the game a loser. And what's wrong with that? It was almost unreal. But I suppose the driving force behind it, Monty, was Howe had good coaches in the past and good teams. I believe that they had won district 6 years in a row before us. And the thought of us being the first team in that length of time to lose was a driving force that was almost unbelievable. In workouts, our thoughts through the day, the next game coming up, no way we're not going to lose. We're just not going to lose. And eventually we discovered that we didn't have to lose. They had some bigger than we were. They had some probably just as good. But I guess desire to win has a lot to do with every game, whether you win or lose, no matter what it is. And we could not stand the thought of losing. We couldn't. Tony Brinkley was, I would say Tony Brinkley was the engineer behind that, because he looked at us, and as we were working out, and then at night he would go back and study the playbooks and what they had, and he picked out the plays that he thought that we could be successful at. He knew that I might not be the fastest guy, but I probably was on our team. Robert Miller was a power in running plays. Henry Lee Allgood for his short yardages and stuff, with J.C. Gallimore and the line that we had. 3 yards was just an automatic, because he could run so close to the ground, and just a crack was all he needed. And so those are the plays that Tony picked out for us. Yes, we had pass plays and trick plays. They were
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
If you're looking for a welding company that will always meet your expectations, we are just the team you need. Robertson Welding Service can do industrial, commercial, or domestic. Robertson Welding Service guarantees the quality and satisfaction of your project at a fair price. We provide precision, custom, and repair service in all steels. We even weld aluminum and stainless. You can be comfortable that Robertson Welding Service is the right company for your project. We can be found on Facebook, or you can call us at 903 903-328-6588. That's 903-328-6588.
Monty, that was Damius Karowski on the tackle. Hey, this is Michael Mosier. I may not be up in that luxury outdoor suite on top of the press box, but hey, I'm still supporting the Bulldogs. I'm proud to be a part of the Howe Athletic Booster Club, where it's only $25 to become a member. I may have retired from pronouncing those difficult names on Friday nights, but I can say go Dogs without batting an eye. Become a black and white, towel-waving Bulldog fan by signing up at each home game behind the home bleachers, and remember, Aljundo Dakenstater on the stop.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
Welcome to the Howe Bulldogs Halftime Show. Now let's join Justin White and Caroline Slauson.
Well, Justin, how are you? We made this huge trek up these bleachers here at Panther Stadium.
Yeah, this has got to be the highest up we've been this season so far. We are. How many rows do you think it is between the top and the bottom here? It's got to be 30 rows.
What do you say? I'll count when I go back down.
I'm gonna say 30.
Okay, 30. I say 40. Okay. Actually, I say 50, but I know that's probably wrong. Caroline Slauson, Justin White, Blake Burnett here at Panther Stadium. We're all about positivity here, so we're not going to go over the score, or this first half. I mean, it's unfortunate, and obviously I'm from Howe. We're here for Howe. We've traveled with Howe. We're a Howe team. It's just one of those games. There's nothing you can say.
It's really not. I mean, I talked about earlier, and you know, I feel bad saying it, but there's just, you've seen it too. There's really been hardly any positive spots here. Again, there was a sack early in the game, Porter and Spencer Akins, but other than that, there really hasn't been anything good for the Bulldogs. They do not have a first down in the first half. I believe we've punted. Howe has punted 8 times. This half, the score is 50-0 right now.
And I mean, it's one of those things. Not only are they not getting the first downs, they're not even getting close to first down. So.
It's second. You start out 1st and 10, and it's 2nd and 11. It's 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, 4th and 15. I mean, that's pretty much how every possession has been, and and two is just. There's not a lot of players right now for Howe. They don't have very many on the sidelines. It's the last game of the year. I think they're just tired. And, I brought it up in the first half. You got to wonder if there would be any kind of a running clock in the second half. I mean,
you'd think.
You got to wonder that.
I will say that I really don't think that this team is not what the score reflects. I have to say that. I mean, I think if things wouldn't have been so crazy this season, just odd, that things really would have gone different. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
But
there's some good players on this team.
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, this is not a team that just doesn't have hardly any talent.
Right.
I mean, it's just being able to execute, and they've had some bad breaks, some bad luck, but that's no excuse. I mean, and I know Coach Jay would say that. There's no excuse for that. And, And so it's just the way the ball bounces sometimes, and that's the way the Bulldogs are right now. They're 3-6 on the season, fixing to be 3-7 to end their season, and winless in district.
Well, I had my nachos, so that's a positive note.
Positive for Caroline, huh?
Yeah, I'm a nacho.
And the hamburgers smell good here.
I'm getting one of those on my way back down. Nachos are, listen, I took the job for the concession stand food. And so here we are. So we'll go over some scores around the district. Again, 50-0 here. Van Alstyne on top of Howe at halftime. Bonham playing Commerce tonight in Commerce. It's halftime in that game as well. 49-13. The Warriors on top of Commerce. Have we talked about next week what we'll be doing? Have we talked about the game next?
Yes.
Okay, so next week, we will be at the Bonham Van Alstyne game. So
that'll be for the district championship over in Bonham. And Howe has played both those teams, and both the teams, they kind of run offensively. They run very similar styles, both kind of run and gun, pass, balanced attack for both teams. Good quarterbacks, good receivers. It'll be a fun game to watch.
It will be a very fun game. It'll be a great game. Both teams, one team is at 50 at half, the other's at 49 at half. So I would expect a high-scoring game.
It'll be like a Big 12 game. Be like a Oklahoma Texas Tech type of game.
Texas Tech, yeah.
So it'll be a fun game though next week.
And then finally wrapping up the district here, Reigns at Lone Oak tonight. The Buffaloes winning at home with 2 minutes 10 seconds left in the first half. 40-7 is the score there.
That's against Reigns.
Yes, Reigns and Lone Oak.
It's a big rivalry. They're over in Reigns County. Go some scores from around the area. Poteet trailing John Tyler at the half, 27-15. Capel trailing Flower Mound, 24-14. 17-7 Rowlett over Lakeview Centennial. Wiley trailing North Garland, 12-7. That's in the third quarter. Saxe up on South Garland, 48-0. That's in the third quarter. McKinney Boyd trailing Plano High at 25-7. Plano East, Plano West, big rivalry there. 37-10. Plano East leads West. 25-14 West Mesquite over Sherman. That's at the half. McKinney High up on Jesuit 24-14. Denton Ryan 38, Grapevine 7. 35-21 the Colony up on Frisco Independence. Allen big up on Prosper 40-14. That is at the half. 43-10 Argyle leading Anna. Denison trailing Lovejoy 23-0. That's already in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
21-14 Geyer trailing Broward Nelson. And 49-0 Frisco up on Frisco Memorial. Melissa 58, Sanger 7. And
just a local score, I have Bells and Whitewright 21-10 halftime. Bells on top of Whitewright.
13-8 Celeste leads Collinsville. Trenton trailing Tom Bean 38-6. And Gunner and Henrietta both tied at 0. That's in the first quarter. And I think that's all I got.
The last one I have is West Mesquite. Did you say West Mesquite and Sherman? I'm sorry.
Yes, but go ahead and do it anyways. Do it again.
25-14 half. The Wranglers on top of the Bearcats. Halftime on that one. Well, I'm going to go get a burger.
All right.
You got to gear up for a new and interesting, here in the booth at least, second half.
Yeah, I just got thrown the main headphones here to do play-by-play here in the second half.
Play-by-play
third quarter, so we'll see how that goes.
So good luck to you. And
good luck on the sidelines too.
Hey man, thanks. I appreciate it.
You got to get some interviews there on the sidelines.
Yeah,
see what you can find.
Okay, off subject. Those flag runners, those boys have been asking to go on air with me since game one. Since game one, they've asked, and I was like, I've decided last game they can definitely do it. But no, they were gonna sing. I had to convince them not to sing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they're excited. They're funny. They've been my buds back down there. So last game of the season for Howe. So it's been fun.
And we'll be back next week again. The Bonham versus Van Alstyne for
that'll be a good one.
District championship. That'll be a fun game. Even I know a lot of people are, if you're Howe, kind of like, why would we care about the Van Alstyne Bonham game? But if you're a fan of this district, just to see who's going to be representing you, and just a high school football fan,
yeah, I was about to say, if you're a fan of just good games,
it'll be a fun game. To be a part of, to be listened to.
So cool. Amani and Justin will be back after the break here at Panther Stadium.
I'm attorney Micah Belden, and I will always be a Bulldog. I'm a proud graduate of Howe High School. The great leadership from our teachers and coaches helped me be able to become one of the few certified criminal law specialists in Texas. While I love the black and white, in trials, everything is not always that way. If you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas, you need to call me now at 903-744-4252 for a free consultation. I'm board certified by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas.
The First Baptist Church here in Howe, Texas would like to invite you and your family to a celebration of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Each Sunday morning at 10:30, we meet for worship at 100 East Davis Street in Howe. Prior to that, we have relevant Bible fellowships for all ages beginning at 9:15. Join us each week to declare the hope that is found only in Christ. Be ready to experience the life-changing power of the gospel. There is only one message for every generation, and that message is Jesus.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at mredinsurance.com.
Calling all Bulldog fans to come down to the Sonic in Howe for half-price shakes after 8.
Sonic of Howe is where you get great food and big smiles and a little message for our Howe Bulldog football players.
Go Bulldogs, fight Bulldogs, win, win, win. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Hey Bulldogs, great news. I'm your hometown realtor and I'm also a Bulldog. Hello, I'm Kevin Sarles and I'm with Exalt Realty. I wanted to tell you about the new 321 program for our new home buyers or those who haven't owned a home in 3 years. A $1,500 grant is tied to the program and a $2,000 gift card at a local major retailer is available. This promotion is for a limited time and qualifications do apply. Call me anytime, 903-821-4163.
Welcome back. We are at the half. Let's recap this thing for you. We've had 17 different drives in the first half combined, both teams. Van Alstyne took the first possession because Howe won the toss, but they pooched it to Howe for the second week in a row, fumbled it on the kickoff, and the opponent recovered the ball. That's what happened tonight one more time, and Van Alstyne got it. And 4 plays later, they scored from 41 on a Gallagher to Porter touchdown pass of 28 yards. And Van Alstyne got the first score 8-0 after the 2-point conversion by Gallagher, and that left 10:53 on the first quarter clock. Howe took it, went 4 plays and punted. Van Alstyne got it back and went 4 plays and 71 yards and scored on a 16-yard touchdown by Jake Carroll to lift the lead 15-0. And that was with 8:43 left to go in quarter number 1. Howe took the ball and went 4 plays and punted. And Van Alstyne took the ball and went 5 plays and 84 yards. And took a 22-0 lead with 5:14 left to go in the first quarter. It was a 39 touchdown yard pass from Gallagher to Davis. It was the first touchdown pass of the evening for Gallagher, who had several. And then Howe took the ball, went 4 plays and punted. Van Alstyne took the ball and went 3 plays and 49 yards and scored on another 16-yard touchdown by Jake Carroll, his second of the night, which gave Van Alstyne a 29-0 lead with 1:36 left to go in quarter number 1. Howe took the ball and went 4 plays and punted. And Van Alstyne took the ball and went 5 plays and 31 yards and scored on a 15-yard touchdown from Gallagher to Rimpel to lift the lead 36-0 with 9:28 left to go in quarter number 2. Howe took the ball and went 4 plays and punted. And Van Alstyne took the ball back and actually returned the ball. They returned that punt some 50 yards for a touchdown, which gave them the lead 43-0 with 7:36 left to go in quarter number 2. Howe took the ball and went 4 plays and punted. And Van Alstyne took the ball and went 2 plays and 47 yards. It was a 53-yard touchdown pass from Proctor to George Hall, which gave us our halftime lead of 50-0 with 4:49 left to go in the half. But not before Howe went 4 plays and punted. And then we had a fumble by Van Alstyne, which was a nice recovery by, I think that was Wyndham who recovered that. And then Howe went 4 plays.
And punted.
Okay. And here we are at the half.
How many we say punts? 8? 7, 8?
I think it was 8 punts in the first half. So we're about to be ready for second half action. The Van Alstyne Panthers are long done with their first team. The Howe Bulldogs trying to do something here in the second half to get on the board and have some kind of good vibes about anything in this game. Boy, if you end it like this, man alive, it's going to be hard to think about football for a while for a lot of these kids. And the returning kids, you got to think about the kids coming back. You got to have some kind of a positive note there.
Yeah, there are a lot of seniors on this team, but yeah, these
the Arturo Louders of the world need to have a real good reason to play football next year.
Really, him and the Elvingtons, those kind of guys, yeah, have something to look forward to next year.
Well, I think we're just about ready for the second half. We have enough space for, I think, one quick timeout. We'll do it real quick.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches, and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of Howe Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Well, we're about ready for the Tech Wave kickoff. There is no Exalt Realty scoring drive recap.
First time here in a while.
No one scored during the half. So Callie Vick ready to boot this one away at her own 40. First time we've had a Bulldog Tech Wave kickoff this evening.
That is, yes.
So she's ready to set this one up. Of course, Callie, the first female football player ever for the Bulldogs, and she's also a pretty good little basketball player. Can't wait to watch her dribble with the basketball. She's a lot of fun to watch do that. So here's Callie on the Tech Wave kickoff. She'll send this one a little pooch kick to the near side, taken at the 26-yard line. And making his way up the far hash, or the near hash rather, and that's going to be Zachary Monsier on the return up near midfield to about the 49, or I think they'll spot it at the 50.
All right, and that's where the Panthers will take over here. Moving right to left here from Van Alstyne, Texas. Panthers lead 50-0 over the Howe Bulldogs here in the final game of the season for the Bulldogs. Panthers come out with 3 receivers to the left.
Number 12, Gage Proctor.
It looks like Gage Proctor in at quarterback for the Panthers and for Rhett Gallagher.
Aaron Palacio in the backfield along with Proctor, and I think that is Justin Barnes dotting the I.
Barnes behind Proctor, hands off to Barnes on the left side, tries to get around the corner, stiff arms one man across the 45, up close to the 40, taken down, tripped up by Devin Porter at about the 41-yard line.
He was initially hit around the right edge by Jackson Adkins, who came up around that defensive end where Devin Porter vacated, and Adkins put a pop on him initially, but Barnes was able to pop out of that. But you said it, it was Porter who made an outstanding play to stop it, but 8 yards.
And Panthers come to the line. They're not in any hurry right now, up by half a hundred here. They got 2 receivers to the left, 1 out to the right, 1 man in motion. Proctor gets the snap, hands off there up the middle across the 40 up to the 35, rumbles across up to about the 33-yard line. Number 27 Barnes in on the carry there, rumbles to about the 32-yard line.
Aikens on the stop, but a first down for Howe, and that'll move the sticks somewhere around the 32-yard line. 10:55 and rolling here in the third quarter.
Panthers lead 50-0, under 11 minutes to go. Panthers come in with a record of 5-3 overall, 4-0 in district, and currently in first place, tied first place with Bonham. Here's the snap, gives it to Barnes again. Barnes dances around to the left, to the right, now spins one across the 25, up to the 20, dragging man across the 20, up to the 17, near the 15-yard line, 16 for a first down. Good run there by Barnes.
Another first down for Van Alstyne. It feels like they've got at least 75 of those tonight.
And they continue to keep it on the ground. They've been a healthy diet to Barnes and Jake Carroll, both those running backs.
And watch out here because Van Alstyne's at the 16-yard line. Seems to be the magic number tonight. Jake Carroll has 2 16-yard touchdowns on the evening. And we'll see if Barnes gets the 16-yarder right here with 9:58 on the clock.
In the pistol formation, Barnes is directly behind Proctor. Pitches out to Barnes. Barnes gets a block to the 15, the 10, and knocked out at about the 5. Maybe Campbell over there on the right side to escort him out of bounds. And that'll be close to a first down.
He'll get a good Bulldog spot. Looks like they're going to put him somewhere around the 8. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's going to be about the 8. It's going to be first and goal for the Panthers.
Let me check that.
Moving right to left. 9:46. That did stop the clock, so as of right now, don't look like we have any kind of running clock unless they're waiting to set the ball. 50-0 here in the third quarter. Proctor looks to the sideline. Now gets his waistband or his belt ready, and then hands off. Gets a snap, hands off to Barnes. Barnes is going to be gobbled up in the backfield. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage there. Looked like Devin Porter maybe one of the ones.
That was a nice play by Porter from that defensive end position. He did a great job of kind of collapsing that offensive line.
Porter has been one of the bright spots on this defensive line here this season for the Bulldogs. They're on that defensive end position. And so facing second down and goal, ball from at the 8-yard line for the Panthers. Panthers in their blue jersey, the white sleeves, blue pants with the white stripe down the sides. Here's a pitch out to Barnes. Barnes sidesteps, steps back inside, across the 5, up to the 2-yard line. And tackle made there by number 2, Jalen Thornton. And looks like we got a official timeout. Maybe an injury for the Bulldogs, possibly.
We're working on sideline mics up here. Sorry about that, Justin. I kind of left you hanging. Seeing if we can get a new battery going on in this thing. Hey, we're going to welcome back Blake Burnett here in just a moment.
Blake Burnett filling in for Stephen Braswell. Braswell's listening to us over down in Austin.
Is he listening still?
I don't know if he still is, but he was up till halftime. That's for you, Stephen. Hook 'em horns, huh?
Okay, enough of that. You know what that's coming.
I think if you heard one, I figure we hear the other.
And longer. Well, tomorrow night it's going to be Texas Tech and the University of Oklahoma. And you know what happens in those games? There's
no defense.
Check your defense at the door.
All right, full house backfield, man in motion, goes out the right side. Here's a handoff again to Barnes. Barnes rumbles his way across the 2 and across the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. 2-yard touchdown run there by Justin Barnes. The Van Alstyne Panthers up 56-0 with 8:14 to go here in the third quarter.
Well, that's their longest sustained drive, if you'll believe that or not. 6 plays, as most of their drives have been either 4, 3, or 5. But this one goes 6 plays and 50 yards on the Exalt Realty scoring drive recap. And our new score is 56-0.
Here's the extra point. Here's a snap, the hold, the kick. It is up, and it is good. So with 8:14 to go here in the third quarter, the Panthers lead 57-0 over the Howe Bulldogs.
We'll be right back right after this.
The First Baptist Church here in Howe, Texas would like to invite you and your family to a celebration of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Each Sunday morning at 10:30, we meet for worship at 100 East Davis Street in Howe. Prior to that, we have relevant Bible fellowships for all ages beginning at 9:15. Join us each week to declare the hope that is found only in Christ. Be ready to experience the life-changing power of the gospel. There is only one message for every generation, and that message is Jesus.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at mredinsurance.com.
All right, welcome back here to Van Alstyne High School in Van Alstyne, Texas. Panthers lead 57-0 here in the third quarter. 8:14 to go in the third.
We're about ready for the Tech Wave kickoff as Danny Kern is going to do the chores for the Panthers, and they fake the Quail onside. Again, let's do the Exalt Realty scoring drive recap. 6 plays, 50 yards, and it was capped off by a 3-yard touchdown by Justin Barnes. 57-0, our new score with 8:14 left to go in quarter number 3. Here's Kern's Tech Wave kick.
Here's the kickoff taken at about the 7 by Akins. Akins across the 15, jukes one man, and going to be taken down at about the 19, pushed back to about the 17-yard line by a host of Panthers, led by number 8 there, Ethan Litgow on the tackle.
A lot of new players in for Van Alstyne, as you can imagine. When they lead by half 100 with 8:05 left to go in quarter number 3, they are not going to get anybody hurt. They have the district championship game next week against Bonham at Bonham. And again, we'll cover that on HoweEnterprise.com. We'll be there. It'll also be simulcast on 92.1 The Possum. So if you can reach The Possum, you can listen to it there. You can always listen to it on HoweEnterprise.com. I want to thank GCEC for being the main sponsor of the district championship game a week from tonight.
Looks like a penalty dropped the Bulldogs back to the 9-yard line. Here's a snap. Here's the pitch out there to Harmon. Harmon trying to get around the left side, and just like in the first half, not able to get anywhere, get back to maybe the original line of scrimmage at the 9-yard line.
Let's check down with our Night Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline Slauson. You've had nachos. Have you had a hamburger?
Yep, I'm still actually on the VA side getting a hamburger. I stopped and was talking to Coach Dennis and Macy Dennis. He's actually the high school principal here at VA, but he was a coach when I was in high school, so I was talking to them and their kids.
All right, so getting to know some of the Van Alstyne Panthers over there.
Hey, what's next? Chili dog?
I mean, it's the last game. Well, you never know with dude, honestly.
Pitch out to Akins here. Akins going to be dropped back behind the line of scrimmage, back behind the 5-yard line. So they go from 2nd and 10 to going to be about probably 3rd and 14 on that one.
And again, this is a drive that started at the 19-yard line after the kickoff return by Akins, and they've done nothing but go backwards. And this is not just one series; it's every series. And Howe's had struggles offensively. And a lot of this has to do with, the Panthers. Krantz back in the game at quarterback.
Krantz quarterback, one receiver out to each side. That's Campbell on the left and Logan Elvington on the right. And looks like Elvington will, I believe, go up the middle there to about the 7-yard line for just a minimal gain. And so it'll bring up 3rd and about 12 there for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was Krantz on the carry.
Krantz.
And he'll get out to maybe about the 7-yard line. So give him 3. But again, it's 4th down and Anna for Howe. And it's been that way, either 4th down and Anna or 4th down and Sherman all night long.
Campbell back at about the middle of the end zone. Punts it away. Bounces about the 36-yard line. Rolls to about the 44-yard line. And that's where the Panthers will take over with 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 5:58 to go in the third quarter. Panthers up 57-0 on the Bulldogs.
So the ball spotted at the 43. And I'll give you a break. We'll switch. How about we alternate play-by-play?
Let's do that, yeah.
5:58 on the clock here in the third quarter.
Ease me into it.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do 1st and 10 for Van Alstyne from the Howe 43-yard line. Proctor now into the game at quarterback, and has been for quite some time. We haven't seen Gallagher really since the early stages of the second quarter. Had a great first half, several touchdown passes to open this game wide open. So Proctor as flags fly before this one get underway. It's a false start against Van Alstyne, and they'll back it up. This will be 1st and 15. And really, both teams have had their fair share of penalties. It's not just one or the other. The flags have been flying on both sides.
It looked like there was some movement there around the guard position, maybe the left or right guard. I couldn't see which one, but I saw some movement there on that interior line. It drops them back 2nd down to 1st and 15.
Proctor in the gun, turn around, hand off up the middle to the first man through, and that's Sam Mosby on his first carry of the night. 5'9", 135-pound senior getting the carry and playing their final game at Van Alstyne Panther Stadium. You like to see that some of those guys that normally don't hit the field, they are getting some carries, but you don't like it against your team. 2nd down and 12 coming up for the Panthers as they reach the 45-yard line, still in the Howe side of the field. On the north side, as Van Alstyne is trying to hit that north end zone. 5:20 on the clock, rolling here in the 3rd quarter. Proctor turns around and hands off once again, left tackle, and that is Sam Mosby, and he has good yardage around the left side all the way to the 30-yard line is where they'll spot him.
Yeah, handoff right there, went around the left tackle, left guard area, and just found some real estate and able to weave his way across the 30 up to about the 30-yard line. And just another running back for the Panthers. We've got 2 or 3 of them now that can run the ball effectively.
15 yards on the carry for the 5'9" senior Mosby. Proctor 5 yards deep in the gun, hands off Mosby again, this time right tackle. Runs into one of his own offensive linemen, but then bounces out before Porter finally tackles him after a 1st down run inside the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, Mosby got that ball and cut it back inside, pinball off a couple of players, and then Porter grabbed a hold of him, but Porter got dragged for about 2 or 3 yards on that one.
5th play of the drive coming up for Van Alstyne with 4:22 on the clock. 1st and 10. A beautiful campus over here that the Panthers enjoy. Nice official 8-lane track.
How old is this field?
I want to say it opened in 2009. 1st and 10. Proctor has to go down and pick up the snap, but he does, and hands off once again to Mosby up the gut this time for about 6 yards, maybe 5.
Good job there by Proctor. Picked it up like a ground ball. The shortstop there trying to field it out of the dirt. And then Mosby able to get some yardage there in Ellington there on the tackle.
Justin White next week, next Friday night. This time we're not going to be doing a 57-0 game. We're going to be doing a hot and heavy Bonham and Van Alstyne broadcast, which is going to be one of those grab your socks and pull kind of games, I have a feeling.
If it's 57-0, I mean.
That may jump out of the window.
Yeah.
2nd down and 5 coming up. Man in motion from left to right. They give him the toss, and that's Eli Mosby. And Porter is going to drag him backwards. A nice stop by Devin Porter. Forward progress will take him back to the line of scrimmage at the 14-yard line.
If I was to pick a defensive MVP of this Howe Bulldog of the season, I would probably look at probably Devin Porter. I think he's, or at least he'd be in the talks of it.
You know, a year ago, if you're coming into the season with the Zach Hudson coach team, and you think who you got coming back, what are going to be the outstanding defenders? And you'd immediately say Cameron Blessai and J.C. Helpenstell. Those 2 players, both of them have meniscus tears, and it's just unfortunate that they can't be on the field for this game. Another low snap, and this time Mosby's going to run right into the back of Wyndon, who actually throws him down to the turf for a loss of about 4 yards. It'll be 4th down and 8 coming up.
I believe Wyndon was blitzing there from the interior defensive line, from the linebacker or safety position, and able to drag down the running back there before you even got anything going.
So we're about to see a 35-yard field goal attempt. And we'll see if that is Beckham. The snap is good. The hold is good. There's a flag down. The kick is a line drive kick that's right through the uprights. 35-yarder, but there's a flag, and let's check it. That one would have been good from 40.
That was a good kick.
Apparently the infraction is going to be against Howe. So put the 3 points on the board. Van Alstyne will decline that. 60-0. VA all the way.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
Well, it's 60-0. There's 2 minutes left in the third. We're ready for our 75th Tech Wave kickoff of the night.
That was a quick moving. It's been a quick moving third quarter.
Yeah, it was. It was a 7-play, 48-yard drive by Van Alstyne. It took 3 minutes and 58 seconds off the clock, and a 35-yard field goal by Beckham is bringing us our new score, 60-0. Here's the Tech Wave kickoff. That's the Exalt Realty scoring drive recap. And the kickoff is going to be taken at the 11-yard line by Akins, coming straight up the middle from the right hash. Now over to the far hash, trying to cut the corner, and is not going to be able to do it. He's going to be stopped by Cam Montgomery somewhere around the 26-yard line.
Aaron Beckham's kick fielded by number 7, Spencer
Now,
Akins.
I don't want to bring up bad memories, Monty, but 60-0 right now.
There are flags on the play.
Okay. 149 to go here in the.
You didn't want to bring up bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm for bad news or anything, bad history. Is this the worst Van Alstyne?
No, it's not. Unfortunately, let's see, they're going to spot the ball at the 27. I'll get to that. Here come the Bulldogs. Split out wide right is J.D. Thornton. And it appears, is that Elvington or Krantz in the gun?
I believe that is Krantz.
It'll be a toss right side to Akins, and he's going to be trapped behind the line of scrimmage. May have got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up. Back in the year after I graduated, my last game was against Van Alstyne in a playoff game in Plano, Texas at Clark Stadium. We lost 30-8 in that game. The following year, the very first game of the season, which would have been the 1992 season, it was the same scenario as tonight. They were getting beat 50-0 at the half, and they ended up, the final score that night was 71-20, I believe, which is still the most points ever scored against Howe. And we have to, let me check back on that. 71-20 was the score that night in 1992.
Wow.
That's the worst.
But that was after you graduated, right?
Yes, it was.
Not on your watch.
That's correct. Let's make sure everyone understands that. So it'll be 3rd down coming up after that incomplete pass. After this, we'll check down with Caroline Slauson. We'll see if she's still working on her burger with mayonnaise and everything on it, from what I understand. 3rd and 10. 2 receivers up top, 2 at the bottom. Thornton looking for the bubble screen, but Krantz is going deep down the field, and he just undershoots his wide receiver who was wide open, and that was Caden Harmon. Had he caught that, he would have scored, and that would have busted points on the board for the first time for the Bulldogs. Let's check down with Caroline Slauson, our night furniture sideline reporter. What you got down there?
I'm sitting here talking to Ricky and Colby Ake, and actually, guys, we're talking about the World Series that happened last week. So,
yeah,
that's
kind of how it's gone tonight. Yeah.
Wondering if he watched all 18 innings last week.
Me?
No, Colby, because Colby was down here listening to it last week.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, here's a punt by Campbell. It's a pretty good one. It's going to roll nearly to the 30, and it does, and it rolls dead right on the white stripe of the 30-yard line. Van Alstyne's got 70 yards to go for their next score. There's 43 and a half seconds left to go in the third quarter, and Van Alstyne's up 60-0.
Seems like Van Alstyne's taking up more time than off the clock than Howe is right now.
Oh, without question. Yep.
But Howe at least is still trying to get something going there when they have the ball on offense. Okay. And Panthers will have the ball at their own 30-yard line, moving right to left. Proctor still in at quarterback. Number 40, is that Mosby we said?
40 is Mosby. It's one of the two Mosbys. 40 is Sam Mosby.
He's in the pistol right behind Proctor. Hands off to him to the left side on a stretch play, trying to get around the corner. And Jordan Jones able to bring him down about the waist and across the 30 up to about the 32-yard line. 2-yard gain there by Mosby. As we go to 28, 27, 26 seconds in the third quarter, 60-0 Panthers lead.
You know, that was a great play by the safety Jones to come over and scrape all the way across. He also had help from Joseph Brennan, who scraped over from the linebacker position. And those two guys working side by side with a nice stop for only about 2 yards for Van Alstyne there, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. We're heading to the fourth. Let's get this puppy over with, 60-0. We'll be back right after this.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Howe Bulldogs.
Last quarter for a lot of these Bulldogs. There's a lot of seniors, and some of them playing their very final game and final quarter right here. It'll be 2nd down and 8, left to right now, Van Alstyne, as we're in the fourth, and Proctor's going to turn around and hand once again to Mosby, and it's a great tackle by Leighton Elvington. As we're trying to move around some equipment here because I'm getting a really big bass buzz at some point through here. Having to move that sucker around to get it to stop. That's okay. Nobody cares about that except us. It's in our ears, and we got to make sure it's not coming through to you. It's 3rd down and 8, and why don't you take over?
All right, here. I'm having trouble hearing myself here, Monty. I don't know if I don't want to mess with this. All right, there we go. Now, do you hear the buzz still? Okay, we're good then. Week 9, Week 10, we'll get it together, huh?
That's right.
All right, 11:15 to go here in the ball game. Handoff up the around the right side here. This is number Jordan Jones in on the tackle, up to about the 33-yard line. Couldn't see who was in on the carry there.
That was Mosby, I believe, again on the carry. I think.
Mosby gets up to the 33-yard line. It'll be 4th down, and I believe, Monty, this may be the first punt we see for the Panthers tonight.
Is it?
I believe. Is that right?
I think you're right. I think it is the first punt by VA because they did have a 4th down earlier, but if I remember right, they went for it early in the game. And this will be Gallagher to punt it away. Jones to return. It bounces right in front of him and goes right out of bounds.
At the 22-yard line. So Bulldogs will start at their own 22, moving right to left. Again, 60-0 is our score. Van Alstyne up on Howe here in the battle of the Silver Spike.
It's not coming to Howe this year.
No.
You got to think about when that sucker's going to get here, and it's going to be another challenge a year from now.
It's never been to Howe, right? Is it?
The actual trophy has not. No. The actual trophy has not been to Howe, other than to be paraded around.
Not actually to sit in a trophy case.
Looks like we got Krantz in at quarterback. He's in the shotgun. A receiver out to the left, out to the right, man in motion. Pitch out, and he's going to be battled back in the backfield, back behind the line of scrimmage, back behind the 20-yard line. That's number 17, Joseph Grant.
One of the first times we've seen Grant carry the ball all year, and does that one not as successful as what he had hoped. A loss of 3, second down at 13, and Howe continues to go backwards and backwards.
Yeah, well, he's not having any better luck than any of the other running backs. Again, we've talked about tonight. Bulldogs have not gotten a first down tonight.
I'm really afraid Howe may have negative yardage tonight.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting stat at the end of the night. Brennan in motion.
Flag down.
Flag comes in, and they'll stop play. And it looks like Blake Burnett, our spotter, is saying that it should be on Van Alstyne, that they maybe had jumped off sides there. And we'll see if they were drawn or if they...
Apparently contact was made. Van Alstyne is going to have the ball moved backwards on them, and Howe's going to have it moved up 5 yards. So,
well, whichever way you can get it. So they'll take the extra 5 yards. So looks like that'll bring the ball up to about the 25-yard line, 24-yard line.
You hate to keep harping on it, but the 5-yard penalty is about as good as it's been tonight.
That's been, yeah.
I don't know how you can get 5 yards other than the penalty.
Shotgun formation here. This is Krantz. Pitch out to Brennan, who was in motion. Brennan get around his blocks, gets across the 25, up close to about the 27-yard line. About a 3-yard gain there for Joseph Brennan to bring up a third down.
We got a kind of an injured, hobbling Van Alstyne Panther. The defensive lineman, Zane Ablett, is hobbling a little bit, and he comes off the field, and checking into the game for him, it looks like Catravius Moore will check in, and he left the game with somewhat of an injury earlier in the game.
And again, we talked about before about this enrollment, the high enrollment for a lot of the schools here, including Van Alstyne, where they can go too deep here. Krantz in the gun, fires it over on the left side to Campbell on the screen. He gets it across the 25 of the 28, pushes his way up to close to the 29 before he's taken down. He's going to be short of the 30, short of the first down by about 3 yards. He'll bring up 4th and 3. And you got to wonder, if you're down 60-0, fourth quarter, 8.5 minutes to go, do you punt or do you go for it? Looks like they may punt.
Yeah, just punt it out of here. I would imagine that would be the scenario. And Van Alstyne, we talk about Howe having the heart and playing till the end. Right there, our spotter tells us 8 Van Alstyne Panthers just flying to the football with 8 minutes left to go in this game.
They've just been swarming everywhere they go, everywhere the Bulldogs have been. So have been blue shirts. And this is a line drive punt. Takes a bounce to the 44-yard line. Takes a Bulldog bounce across the 20,
Great punt.
The 15. Great punt there by Campbell. His best punt probably of the night. And it is finally down by Sean Lukash at about the 11-yard line. So
we had some extracurricular activity back around the line of scrimmage. The scoreboard can get some people a little riled up. This is a rivalry game. We haven't seen a lot of the personal fouls and stuff like that, but it kind of reared its ugly head right there on that. No flags were thrown.
Yeah, guys. In fact, I was just down here right by it, and a referee was right there, pulled them apart the entire time, but Coach Shea was pretty much out to where they were, wanting a flag, just begging to call it. Please call it.
Yeah, it's been a relatively clean game of the personal fouls, even though this is a rivalry game, and the score is what it is. But for the most part, aside from that, it's been fairly clean by both programs.
7:46 on the clock as Proctor comes to the line of scrimmage, and he'll hand off. That's once again Mosby, I believe, and he spins and turns and gets about 4 yards near to the 15 as he carried Devin Porter for about 3 of those 4 yards. And they'll stop him somewhere around the 13-yard line.
As he was spinning, it looks like Porter was trying to grab a hold of that ball and pull it out. And Mosby able to secure it, though, as he falls out of bounds. But clock continues to run.
We change that scoreboard as we are in the fourth quarter now. It's 7:15 left to go in the game. Miss
Caroline, how do you feel about doing an interview with Coach Jay? Yay or nay for Jay?
I'm going to at least try. I'm going to talk to him and see if he wants to. If he doesn't, I obviously completely understand. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to try to talk to him.
Here is a massive hole right up the middle for Mosby, and he takes advantage of it, and that'll move the sticks once again. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line after a pretty nice gain of about 13 for Mosby.
Big hole there. You could have drove a truck through the middle of that offensive line, that hole there, and Thornton in on the tackle there. And the Panthers got a little bit more breathing room now out there on the 26-yard line.
1st and 10, left to right. Van Alstyne looking towards Anna, but they have a matchup with Bonham a week from tonight for the district championship. Handoff straight up the middle, and Mosby doing a nice job in relief of Jake Carroll and Justin Barnes, who came in for Carroll, and now it's Mosby doing kind of the cleanup role, and he's been good for somewhere around 5 yards almost every time.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good carries, pretty good yardage here against this Bulldog defense. Again, that's good. They have 2-3 runners they can rely on.
Under the 6-minute mark, as the ball is spotted at the 31, Van Alstyne's taking a lot of time off the clock. There's 19 on the play clock, and they are going to take most of it. 5:46 on the game clock, and a lot of standing around. And again, Caroline Slauson going to talk to Coach Jay, ask him about his first season. Here's a handoff for Mosby up the middle, fighting for yardage. 45, 48, another first down. And Van Alstyne's just kind of running at will right now.
Yeah, just right up the middle, nothing to it, just a draw up the middle and just letting the running backs do their thing. And Mosby just kind of just dances his way and weaves his way through the blocks and through the holes and gets good yardage up almost to midfield.
You have to, kind of remind yourself that this Van Alstyne Panther coaching staff has a lot of former Howe Bulldog coaches on it.
Wow.
Patterson, Brogdon, Jimmy Haynes. There's a lot of them on this staff that once were Bulldogs. Under 5 minutes now. 1st and 10, left to right. Proctor, handoff. A new running back into the game, and he is shot out of a cannon. That is not Mosby. That is number 55, Paul O'Loughlin, the defensive end on the carry, and he moves the chains to the 35.
O'Loughlin, yeah, a fresh set of legs there and just rumbles his way around behind that left guard there, and he was a load to bring down.
He doesn't look like your typical lineman number. He looks just like Barnes or any of the other slot receivers, actually. He just wears a different uniform number, but he looks the part of what he's being asked to do right here. Handoff again, O'Loughlin, right tackle, and this time he's going to be brought down after a minimal gain of about 2 or 3 to the 33-yard line, and here comes the late flag. And this one is a high flag, and this one's going to be against Howe, and that's the personal foul type.
And I think it was Wyndon. I think he got in a little shoving match. I think he was the Panther player shoved too, and I think Wyndon just got caught.
There's an injured Bulldog down on the field, and that's Chris Garrison. He's at the 33-yard line, which is somewhere around where the ball was spotted. But the trainers are going to go out and talk to him. Caroline, what are you going to ask Coach Jay?
Well, not about this game, but just kind of how it felt to be a Bulldog the first season. May not have been how he wanted it.
This team had a lot of adversity. I think adversity is probably the word that anybody would come up with for the 2018 season, whether it's been mud, whether it's been offensive struggles, whether it's been off the field issues. There's just been a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So many types of adversity that this team has gone through, and to start out 3-0, flipping that victory switch on 3 times to start the season, and then losing your last 7, not winning a game in district. I mean, that's tough, and it's hard on a head coach. And I talk to him every week, obviously by doing the coaches show, and he's been upbeat, and he's always positive. He's always trying to make changes. He's never going to be dormant and try to keep doing the same thing. But I think the theme of the season in his first year is adversity.
Yeah, and I can only imagine, and you don't have to speak on this, I can only imagine your conversation on the coaching show, but your conversations after the coach's show. About
Those last 30 minutes, and those are gold.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the
you
ones we
can't
don't
get
hear.
them.
Yeah, but just imagine those conversations. Yeah, and just and Bulldog fans are frustrated, and Coach Jay's frustrated. I mean, he's human too, and he wants to win as well. So you can just imagine what he feels like.
So the ball, after all of that sorting out, and Chris Garrison walks off the field, perhaps for the final time for that senior. It's 3:54 on the clock, and Van Alstyne has a 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line, knocking on the door for another score. But they are taking almost all the time off the clock that they can. 3:41 is on the clock. The play clock's at 18, and they're still looking over to the sideline for the play. Here in about 5 seconds, they're going to get it. And now they have it. There's 8 seconds on the play clock. They're going to snap it. Proctor hands off up the middle. And bouncing out of a tackle is Mosby. Another flag is down. And finally, he is slung down after about a 3 or 4 yard gain. And now the courtesy flags may be maybe coming out at the end of this thing.
Yeah. And Monty, you think about too, and you know this better than I do, as far as what's coming up through the ranks. You got the JV team, 8th graders that'll be freshmen next year, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of talent will be coming up to replace some of these seniors.
Well, for Bulldog fans, they probably have a good grasp on those kind of things. The parents know. You're probably looking at another year of struggles. I think everybody knows that. The JV did not have a great year whatsoever. Next year's probably going to be a struggle. The year after that, things kind of start turning because your 8th grade class right now is going to be freshmen next year. Don't know how many of those will get varsity opportunities. But when the 8th grade class blends in, here's a handoff to Mosby, bouncing out of a tackle. He's getting 1 yard up to somewhere around the 26-yard line.
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do want to talk to the cheerleaders and get them on air before this all ends. I've got Miss Michaela Doty with me. She's a senior. She was our football sweetheart last week. Michaela, what's been y'all's favorite memory from this season?
Well, through all the challenges of this season, it's just been such a blessing to have adapted through all of this and just grown closer as a community and a school. And as my senior year, it's just a great way to end it.
Y'all be cheering with basketball. When's y'all's first basketball game?
We start on Tuesday.
Home or?
Yes, ma'am, at home.
All right, well, thanks, Michaela. I appreciate it.
There's a handoff, and hit hard, driven backwards is Mosby. One of the biggest hits we've seen of the night. Dyson Dillard put his left shoulder pad right in the mouth of Mosby and drove him back for about 5 yards, but forward progress will spot him at the 25.
Dyson Dillard is going to leave his stamp on this defense, and he's going to leave a stamp on Mosby there as he just leveled Mosby there at the 25-yard line. Great tackle by Dyson Dillard. 1:43
on the clock. We were talking about the 8th grade class and the 7th grade class. That's your future for this varsity football program. You're a few years away. You're going to have to be patient. Even when the 8th graders are sophomores, those are learning situations. There's a handoff, Mosby, 25 to the 23-yard lines. The clock continues to wind. When you start to get those 7th graders in as sophomores, then the arrow is almost pointed straight up.
Is that good, huh?
Now, when you also have a 6th grade class that's going to bring a lot of talent as well. You've got 4 or 5 kids in that class, blending with some great kids in 7th grade and great kids with 8th grade. By the time you get done with this thing, 2022, 2023 football season, those are going to be some barn burner years. You just hope they get some kind of a break. Here's an attempt of a 40-yard field goal, but a false start against Van Alstyne is going to move this one back with 43 seconds. So legal procedure against Van Alstyne. They'll back it up. We'll see if they try to kick this again. It's 4th down and 15, and there's 43 seconds. And it appears, I would imagine, why not? Let Beckham kick another one from 40.
Get the practice in.
Or let's see, they spotted that one at 40. Let's see if he can kick a 45. So the officials are talking about it. We would imagine that would be against, I thought that was against Van Alstyne.
Yeah, was that Blake, did you see if that was against Van Alstyne, or is that?
Now it's on Howe. It's offsides against the Bulldogs. So what'd you say about it raining and pouring? And didn't you say something about that?
Yeah, when it rains, it pours. It's been a monsoon here. It's figuratively. It hadn't rained any actual rain.
Did we just see a decline of that penalty?
You may have.
Okay, the snap. There they're going to move it. Okay, there they move. Here we go. They're going to set the ball.
So still may kick a field
at the 18. They're going to try another 35-yard attempt. And Beckham can kick it. He was surely good enough earlier by a large margin. Here's the snap. The kick is up. That's not Beckham. That's a very good kick, but it's wide right. I believe that was Moore. Austin Moore tried to kick that one. He had plenty of leg, but it was wide right. And that leaves 29 seconds left to go in the game. So Howe will take over at the 19, and there is absolutely no way you down this ball.
You run a play and
you run a play. You don't end the season on a knee down 60-0.
How about a halfback pass right here? Mason Riggs down to Campbell maybe.
I would imagine that would be just fine. Caroline's probably going to have to – I don't know how long she's going to have to wait. I don't know how long we're going to have to wait on being able to talk to Coach Jay. And Krantz goes in the gun. Near side is Campbell. They're talking about it a little bit. 29 seconds on the clock, and they are going to take a knee.
Okay. Interesting call.
And that ends the game. And that ends the season. Howe Bulldogs go 3-0 to start the season and 0-7 through the rest, including a really tough district schedule and an 0-6 season through district play. Tough way to end it, especially for the seniors. That's their final time in these helmets. And we tip our hat to Coach Jay and the coaching staff for trying to get the best out of these kids that they can. And you remember, these are 15, 16, and 17-year-old kids.
You know, and I noticed this last year, being my first year around the Howe program, and I noticed this year, even though they're down and they're losing and they've been, beat, they have not given up. They've got this team that does have a lot of heart. They continue to keep pushing forward. They continue to keep trying out there, even though this is a lopsided game. I've noticed that around a lot of these Bulldog players, they don't give up. So they play hard to the end.
Well, we'll see if we have a presentation of the Silver Spike tonight or not. It might be just salt for the wounds in this one. That's 60-0 final here in Van Alstyne. I know Caroline's going to try to corral Coach Jay and talk to him a little bit about the overall feelings of tonight. Maybe not tonight. Maybe his experiences on his first season as coach of the Howe Bulldogs. The Howe Bulldogs are celebrating their school song right now. We'll let you listen to that. And the Van Alstyne Panthers are celebrating a win over here as they raise the Silver Spike in the middle. They bring it up again, and it will stay on the south side of Grayson County's Highway 5 for one more year. It's 12 in a row over the Howe Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are taking a knee right now and talking. Coach Jay's talking to them for a little bit. And I know for a moment Caroline is going to try and visit with Coach Jay. He's a very courteous man. He's a nice gentleman, and he'll more than likely give Caroline the opportunity to ask some questions.
Yeah, I think he'd be willing to talk for a couple of minutes after this to kind of reflect on the season, his first season here at Howe.
You know, and it might give him, I don't know if we want to ask him about other sports right now. It's probably not the time. I've seen some pretty ugly things in games like this and season-ending games. There was one particular town that got their season ended in the playoffs, and they weren't expected to be ended in the playoffs, but I did see a basketball roll across the field from one side to the other.
Oh, wow.
And that was salt in the wounds. And that's been about 25 years ago. But
a very subtle move there.
That was quite the passive-aggressive rival victory. That was pretty. It was fun to watch. It was funny, but boy, you'd hate to be on the receiving end of that basketball.
No kidding.
So the Bulldogs lose tonight 60-0 to rival Van Alstyne Panthers, who keep the spike one more year and make it 12 in a row. As the Bulldogs still talking down there on about the 40. They're taking somewhere between the 49 midfield and 41. They're spread out that far apart, all nestled around their coach, listening to the final thoughts of the season.
Monty, what do you expect next week with Bonham and Van Alstyne? It's going to be a barn burner there. District championship on the line. You've seen both teams now. Both teams run similar offenses.
Whoever has the better defense is going to win that game.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to say that Van Alstyne doesn't have the better defense out of those two games. I would expect Van Alstyne to go over to Bonham and play a pretty good football game and probably walk away with their second trophy in their second week.
Yeah. Again, both teams have both similar offenses. Bonham's defense, we saw it earlier this year, and they had some trouble at first taking care of Howe, but able to eventually win that battle.
We'll see if Caroline is down there and can talk with Coach Jay. We'll see. Just pop on if you get a chance to talk to her. Some hugs are being.
I think I see her approaching him.
Hugs are.
He's talking to the seniors right now, but as soon as he's done, I'll try to catch him.
Seniors are all huddled up around Coach Jay.
How many we got? Was it 12, I believe?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's so many seniors on this roster, and we'll go over the list here before we sign off, but there's got to be a lot of tears down there on that field. It's an emotional time. Everybody who plays high school football plays a final game, and 99% of everybody who plays ends in tears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of these, and a couple of them came back for their senior year to play football.
There's a lot of them. Coach Jay, that might be a good question to ask. Caroline, he's being surrounded by all of these seniors, and a lot of them didn't play football a year ago. He was able to get them to play, and if he hadn't, who knows how this season would have turned out. You're talking about Bryce Krantz and Dyson Dillard and kids that haven't played, Joseph Brennan and Spencer Akins. Those are kids that were crucial to this football team that didn't play a year ago.
So, that was one of the first things he had to do was come in not only to coach, but he had to recruit some players out of the halls.
Here we go.
All right, Coach Jay. So, not the night, not the season you probably wanted, but ended on a great note. You guys huddled around, your seniors huddled around you. A lot of these seniors didn't play last year. They came back and played because of you. Talk about them and really what this season has meant for you and to be a Bulldog.
It's been a tough season. I mean, like I told the kids, we haven't had our full football team since week 3. We've had kids out with injuries, kids out for other reasons. But I'm really proud of this group of seniors. They bought into the system. They bought into me. Like you said, a lot of them didn't play in the past, so I'm really proud of them for playing this year. Did it end the way we wanted to? No, but, they kept fighting, they kept trying, and I'm proud of them for that.
All right.
It's a good foundation for the future.
Thanks, Coach Jay. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for the final time for a Howe Bulldog season. Our Night Furniture sideline reporter, Caroline Slauson. But, again, next week we'll be over in Bonham. We'll be carrying this district championship game between Van Alstyne and Bonham. It'll be simulcast on 92.1 The Possum, KXEZ. And you'll also be able to get it on HoweEnterprise.com. You talked about the seniors a moment ago, Justin White.
Yes.
There's a lot of them. And we can talk about the first ever female football player for the Howe Bulldogs and Callie Vick, Spencer Akins, Bryce Krantz, who came on, didn't play a year ago. Elijah Campbell came on, didn't play a year ago. Peyton Valier, you're talking about Carson Grogan, who got injured. J.D. Thornton, who played a vital role this year in safety. Cameron Blesseye, maybe the heart and soul of this football team, who tore his meniscus. Mason Riggs, a 3-year starter. Austin Lee, Sean Lukash. Gus LaFleur was injured earlier in the season and wasn't able to finish it out. Joseph Brennan, who didn't play a year ago, and he had an outstanding year coming back.
Caden Harmon?
Parker Blunt. Yeah, Caden Harmon's a junior. He'll come back.
I had a senior here on
Parker Blunt, starting center. I'll always remember that fumble recovery he got over in Boyd that night and ran it back 70-some-odd yards. And then you're talking about Samuel Cherry, who dislocated his elbow and missed most of the season, but came back for this game tonight and did a great job on that kickoff return. Christopher Garrison, he's quite the character. And Alex Kellum, who played a lot this year. Dyson Dillard, who didn't play a year ago, he came back to play. And then Logan Elvington, the brother of Leighton Elvington, who will be back next year. So the Bulldogs are going to bring some players back next year. The Arturo Louders will be the stars. The Logan Elvington will most likely be the quarterback. So we'll see what is in store for the Bulldogs, but we know the future's bright. It's just going to be a few years down the road.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends. Yeah, those first 3 games, it looked like the Bulldogs were coming out of the gate, and things have changed, but there's been so many setbacks, so many injuries, and adversity would be the key word when you describe this 2018 season for the Bulldogs. But it's been a fun year calling the games, just hadn't been the result we were hoping for.
Well, the season may be over for the Bulldogs, but we live another week, at least one more. We're going to go over to Bonham a week from tonight. We'll be there for the district championship against Van Alstyne and Bonham. Those will be the 2 teams involved. It'll be a Van Alstyne home game. Okay, we'll try that. I'm a Bulldog. We'll try that. Yeah, it'll be good. We'll do you right, Panthers.
That'll be a fun game, though. I hope everybody can listen in. That'll be a real fun game to be a part of.
It will be. And hey, for everyone who's been a part of this one, including Blake Burnett, his debut tonight, did an outstanding job as a spotter. And we may leave Stephen Braswell down in Austin, Texas. So, anyway, we'll sign off on this one. For everyone who's been a part of this one, including Justin White, Caroline Slauson, I'm Monty Walker. We will see you, Bulldog fans, we'll see you next year. You Van Alstyne Panther fans, we'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Howe Bulldogs football on HoweEnterprise.com, and is brought to you by Ed Meacham State Farm, Sonic of Howe, Scoggins Funeral Home, Attorney Micah Belden, Bucks Norton Barbecue, Tech Wave, Robertson Welding Services, Knight Furniture, FBC Howe, Howe Athletic Booster Club, Independent Bank, Exalt Realty. This has been a presentation of Grayson Publishing.